To lead the Skol chant and sound the Yeller horn, please welcome the 31st Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard, Major General John Jefferson.
Well, hello, this is John Randall, Minnesota Vikings legend, and it is my pleasure to say, Minnesota Vikings fans uncensored, are you ready? Keith, get your people up. Let's go. Skol, 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 baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Hello, Vikings fans. Welcome to the Let's Skol show. I'm Fish. With me, I've got the incomparable David Rinaldi, Mr. Positivity Cody Bowden, he who greets with smoke, Skoleful Shack. Our Captain Keith is in the background doing his Keith stuff, getting this thing set up, but he'll be joining us shortly. Welcome to our 16th off-season show of the year. We're going to be here every week. We're going to get through this abyss together in this off-season. And tonight is our post-draft show. Now that we've had a week to digest it, how are we feeling? We're going to go over each pick, give our own grades. We want yours in the comments or join us. And we're also going to take a look at those other NFC North teams and who they drafted, whatever. Got a little bit of Skol news to get us started, but before we do that, fellas, without going into too many details about the draft itself, tell me about your 2025 draft weekend.
Hungover. Can I start with that? I was so
why,
hungover.
David?
It couldn't have been shot. And I sat on the in upstate New York where I live. Saturday was absolutely blown out, wet, cold, crappy. Even though the rest of the week was 70 and sunny, so I watched every draft pick on Saturday all day long. So, hey, it is what it is.
I'm sorry. What up, Captain?
What up?
Anybody have anything different about the draft weekend?
Besides being hungover?
Anybody have any memory gaps on, night one for any particular reason?
Anything past the 24th pick.
Yeah, anything past 24, I had to go back and look. Okay, what happened? I was like, damn, there was 2 trades after that? Or might have been 3, actually. Yeah, I had to go look back and see what I dropped here. But most of that was out of anger because I wasn't angry at the pick at first. I'm okay with it now. I do think it was a good pick. But at first, I wasn't happy. I think I got more into the I want this pick to be sexy than what's best for the team mode. Like when we were up on the clock, we were waiting for 3 hours. We were a little lubed up, so expecting something a little bit more sexy than that. But now I've calmed down. I'm good. But it did suck only having the 4 picks in this draft. I know it turned to 5, but the 2 were in the 6th round. It kind of took
the second round is just.
And I mean, this is the second year in a row. We didn't really have a second or a third round pick 2 years in a row, and this is kind of damn. So
you're just
I'm
watching
glad
all
right
the
now.
Other kids have fun, and you're just like.
Especially within our division, I just kept being like, the Bears are on the clock again. The Lions are picking again.
Last year we got spoiled. Last year it was like that one good Christmas,
the best
and
Christmas.
You get that shitty Christmas the next year, and you're like more, and you're not getting more.
But even then, It was like Christmas because it was like one day. It wasn't Hanukkah where you get all the other days because we had the first round and then we had nothing. Like our next pick was in the fourth round and really didn't get to use
I don't want no dreidel.
Our draft next year is going to be entirely different, though. We're going to be rounding out our roster through drafts from now on. I think we got core people in place for a long time, and we're going to be developing and rounding out forever. So that's where we're at. So you like the draft? It's coming.
Yeah, your day is coming in 358 days from now. It is coming.
It's coming, baby.
The countdown is on. So
I did not want you to
358. The Vikings have selected the following players.
Shot.
Yeah, do something. Do something.
Okay.
Keith's loaded. He's ready. He found it.
I am ready. Everyone else has got water and what Shaq got there? Twisted tea?
Nah.
Or just a tea?
What was it in John Wick 3 where John Wick grabs that old revolver and rebuilds it just to fire that one shot at that dude?
Skol, Lucy.
Hey, Lucy, Skol.
So besides the draft, there was some other stuff that went on. Voluntary training camp opened up. So we saw most of the guys. I say most of them. We did not see everybody, but we did see a lot of the key figures for this team, including J.J. McCarthy. We even saw a couple passes from him. We saw a lot of them at the podium. David, I know you tuned into a lot of that. Did you take anything away from the interviews?
Yeah, I mean, I saw them all. I don't think there was, to a man, there wasn't a guy that wasn't excited about where McCarthy's at, because that was the overriding question. I mean, there's three things. I kind of listened to Sorrell's thing the other day, Jeremiah Sorrell, and there's three things that they're going to get asked every time and not really answer. What do you think about your quarterback? What do you think about your game plan? What do you think? So these guys
sucks.
Yeah, right. So they don't answer that very often. But here's the takeaway I would give you: Harrison Smith doesn't give out free accolades to anybody, and he everybody to a guy said that this kid comes works his ass off, very prepared, older than his 22 years old, and he's got a command of the game that they're all excited for. Now, they're all going to say that no matter what, but I got to tell you, I don't think it's a lie. All you got to do is watch the dude, man. And that's really kind of what it was about. It's mostly about JJ and then getting back into the groove. It's great to be here. These are good interviews if you're like dying for stuff to talk about, but the reality is that it was basically all about McCarthy, and everybody had really good stuff to say, and it was authentic.
So, Rinaldi, how are you feeling about JJ McCarthy?
Well, I think I'm on the bandwagon, buddy. I am a very big supporter, man. I got a little bit of a kid crush on Mr. McCarthy.
How can you not? Every time the guy talks, it's just like, it makes you feel like good.
Yeah, he does, and he like has KOC.
He throws 3 interceptions week 1.
Yeah, he will. That'll happen too. But he's got some KOC-isms in him, so he's a listener. You can tell he's moldable. And I think he's got a rocket arm, man. I'm excited for him. I really am.
Yeah. Why doesn't Justin Jefferson show up for these things? Like, is it not important to get as much time in as possible with this quarterback who is, a key part to this team if we're going to succeed or not? Like, he said he wants to win Super Bowls in Minnesota. Like, why isn't he winning Super Bowl things?
I think this is like the 4th year in a row you said this, Keith.
And I'm going to say it every year. He's not there. He's not a leader of this team.
Still produces. I mean, 14 wins and then 12 wins. Then that middle year was 7 wins. He doesn't need to show up. He just needs to run a route. That's all he needs to do.
There's more to it than stats.
Yeah, he'll get his timing down with J.J. McCarthy when they're in full pads and not in fucking flip-flops, throwing balls around in red jerseys. It'll be fine.
It will be.
Not his contract.
Yeah, well, last year it's like, oh, he's not there because he doesn't have his contract. Well, now he has his contract. He's still not there.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about last year. I don't think it was about the contract. I think he doesn't want to be at OTAs, man.
I don't blame him at all. You solidify yourself as one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the NFL. Right? You don't need nothing to show out there. He's going to get.
I mean, the Super Bowls show themselves, right?
He's going to get practice with J.J. McCarthy. We got fucking 8 weeks, 12 weeks of it still.
I think we'll see J.J. McCarthy practicing with Thielen before we see him practicing with J.J.
Yeah, because there's going to be a time where you can't throw the ball at the facilities. It's gym time and watching videos.
So Thielen can meet up with them, but JJ can't.
Right.
I mean, one person's in the prime of his career, and the other person on the twilight.
Yeah, one person's like warming up our quarterback, and one's not. It ain't about what JJ needs. It's not about what just Jefferson needs. It's about what JJ McCarthy needs.
What was Addison? Was Addison there?
Addison was there.
Oh, he was.
Addison was there.
So maybe Addison should stop going to these things so we can finally get 1,000 yards receiving.
What? How does that make sense?
I don't know.
Where's the logic in that?
JJ produces till the year. JJ does not gain 1,000 yards of the receiving and doesn't have over 130 target or 100 plus targets. I'm not worried about it.
I think if Addison had 150 targets, he would have cracked 1,000 yards last year. I mean catches. He probably didn't have 150 targets.
Yeah,
and JJ had 150 catches. So if he had the same targets, I think he would crack 1,000.
Something can be said for developing chemistry.
Yeah,
that'll be done during the rest of the offseason.
We'll take care of it in the draft.
Yeah, that and leadership though, Keith. I think you got a point to some degree. I don't want to say you got a point, but you got a point. He should be there, honestly.
Well, who else didn't show up?
Even if he doesn't participate, stand on fucking sidelines, right? I mean, be part of the team.
Who else didn't
the
show
face
up?
of the team.
Who else didn't show up? Let's put some blame on them.
What about you? Who else is the face of the team?
J.J. McCarthy is now. The way we're hyping him up.
He showed up.
Okay,
so who else is the face of the team?
It's still going to be the face of the team whether he shows up or not.
Yeah, I know. It's a great example.
He's like, was Talkie there?
I mean, people give Kirk Cousins so much shit for wanting to take a full day off on Tuesday, but JJ can't show up for OTAs with the rest of the team and get that extra time in.
Yeah.
Was Aaron Jones there?
Great leadership.
I mean, shit, Kirk needed it. Kirk should have been there every day.
Kirk should be every day.
I don't know. I mean, and I agree, it's probably not a huge thing, but it would show a lot just being there. Like that matters. Like a lot of the team's success last year didn't come just on the field. It was how they gelled together and meshed and how they were in the locker room, the camaraderie, and like I said in the chat, the brotherhood. And it'd be nice to get a head start on that because I would like to get past the first round this year.
I think
that's why we got mandatory minicamp.
Every quarterback that has been with Justin Jefferson has looked good. He made Sam Darnold look good, for Christ's sakes.
Josh Dobbs
looked fucking good in the games that he fucking played.
Thank you, George.
Before he got Justin Jefferson hurt. Thanks, George. Before he got Justin Jefferson hurt, Dobbs looked all right.
Yeah. Oh, nice caveat. And almost got KJ killed.
I mean, Kirk Cousins looked good.
Didn't he get JJ sent to the hospispital?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I said.
on his first game back, if I remember correctly.
I was there.
The Raiders game, David?
It was.
Oh, yeah, that was a great game, right, David?
Yikes.
I mean, they won, right?
They won.
A win is a win is a win.
Because they always win when I'm there, Keith. You know that.
Yeah. I do know that. I hate you say it, though. I hate that you say it. So some other big news is that the Vikings extended Andrew Van Ginkel, extended him to 1 year, $23 million, which at first that blew me away. I was like, really? We're giving this guy $23 million for 1 year? He's going to be like 31 years old? Like, that's freaking ridiculous. But then I compartmentalized it, and it's like, oh, he's only getting $10 million this year. So the 23 next year, you put those together, it's really a 2 year, $33 million deal. And that's like, 16 and a half a year, which makes him like the 17th highest paid edge. So that helped me get behind it. I'm glad he's back for another year. Are you guys happy that he's back for another year? Do you think this stunts Dallas Turner at all?
No, and for that reason. I mean, we got to put Dallas Turner on the field. I get it. I get it. Gank had an all-pro season. What was he, all-pro, second team all-pro last year?
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to. But you've got a first-round draft pick sitting right there that needs to get on the field, and this extension just takes another year away from him getting on the field and producing. So I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think anybody needs 1,000 or 1,200 snaps in a season, and I don't think they're gonna get it. What I think this is talking about, what this says, what the actual meaning of that signing is that they're going to do a rotation. And I'd rather have those 3 guys getting 700 snaps apiece for 2,100 total snaps than 2 guys getting 1,100 apiece. They'll be fresher. Those guys are already old, and Turner will play. He had 350 snaps ish last year. He'll have 650, 750, something like that this year. And in that amount of time, he'll do great. I don't think it's holding him back at all, and that'll give him a couple of years to really become the number 1 guy. And what's even better about that is that this line is going to be cohesive through 2026, man. I mean, think about that. We got Grenard. We got the 2 guys we signed this year, right? Hargrave and Allen. We got Van Ginkel. We got Dallas Turner. That is a front line. What we're doing is we're turning ourselves into that mold of Philadelphia. That's real. That's what you could see that across the league this year, and I think that's what we got going on, man.
Agree.
So Cody, you said that they're going to pay the All-Pro like an All-Pro, and they did. How you feel about it?
I feel good about it. I mean, I want to ride this wave until it's done, and I think it's more than likely going to be done after this year. I don't think he's going to reach to the next step of numbers, which he needs to be an actual first-team All-Pro. I think he'll get similar stats as he did this year, but I think after that, I think it's going to fall off, and I think it was a very smart contract for Van Ginkel. And talking about Dallas Turner is a Sam linebacker. He's not a Will like Ginkel is, right? So if you want to blame anybody for taking away snaps, you probably have to blame Jonathan Greenard.
We got the defection or defector, whatever. He defected to the Bills.
Oh,
that's because they became UK North.
They became UK North. They got Sugar Ray, Deion Walker, Maxwell Harrison.
Yeah, that's a hell of a flight to catch a home game.
Yeah. Hey Cody, in addition to what you just said, I think that Dallas Turner also has positional flexibility.
Yeah.
I don't think you're just going to see him play edge or whatever you want to call that position. He's going to be all over the place. When they drafted him, B-Float said he reminded him of who? Hightower or somebody like that? Some Patriot player that was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to see him on the field at a lot of different positions. I do not think he's only
safety. It's coming. I spoke it into existence.
I was trying to beat you to it, Fish. I was trying to beat you, but I didn't want to interrupt him.
I've spoken it into existence. It's happening.
Hightower played a lot of the buck linebacker position, that Ivan Pace position. It's a smaller, skinnier framed guy out there, and he's fast. He can get between the tackles and the guards while he's rushing the quarterback, or he can drop back in coverage. So yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
And before we get into the draft talk, let's talk about a trade they made during the draft, and that was to secure Sam Howell.
Called it.
First of all, how do you guys feel about us bringing Sam Howell in, knowing like that's probably quarterback 2? There's probably not going to be another move that probably shuts out anything else. Do you think like this might have been their plan the whole time? That's why they didn't sign one? Do you think they struck out, or a plan didn't work out and this is like, all right, we got to make a move right now? Like, what are you guys feeling about Sam Howell going to be quarterback 2?
I think so. KOC has this little little thing with backup quarterbacks. His criteria is gunslinger. He wants because when it fails with that starting quarterback, it's fuck it. Send the ball to JJ with my gunslinger or my backup quarterback. Because you're on your backup quarterback, you probably ain't winning many games, right? So the best opportunity for you to probably win those games is to sling the ball as much as you possibly fucking can now. And I think Sam Howell, I said it, is actually going to be one of my draft hot takes that we will trade for Sam Howell as my third one that came. And I think it was a great pickup for him because what KOC does and what he likes as a backup quarterback and those gunslingers.
No doubt. And I'll add to that. I watched a little film of him in that season that he had, and he has arm strength for days. A lot of people say he reminds him of who's the Tampa Bay quarterback? I can't think of his name.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. But I'll tell you who he actually reminds me of. He actually reminds me of Sam Darnold. He actually reminds me of the way Sam played. He loves to look downfield. He's got an arm for days. And he got sacked 65 times that year. 60. It's like the third highest sack rate of anybody. Now a lot of sacks are actually on the quarterback, but you could see him. He as that season went on, he started to step up in the pocket, and he's more athletic than you think he is. Mm-hmm. I completely see why KOC likes this guy. I'm not saying that he's going to challenge anybody for any time, but that is a real backup quarterback with a lot of starting time that could win you 3, 4, 5 games out of 7 if you had to. I mean, he could keep the boat afloat, and let's hope we don't have to see him. But I think I understand it explicitly. If he can get our offense down, his footwork down, he's going to be a great backup quarterback.
And people got to remember about Sam Howell, when all his weapons left at North Carolina, his whole game plan, the way he played quarterback, changed. He became a more mobile quarterback. I think he led the team in rushing yards and passing yards. And after a year, he threw for 4,000 some odd yards. He goes out there and rushes for almost 900 yards and throws for 3,600 yards. So, I like Sam Howell.
And that Washington team had ass wide receivers, dude. He was throwing to nobody. I mean, they look good there, but
I see it. If Baker Mayfield and Case Keenum had a baby, it'd be Sam Howell.
There you go.
And I hope he never sees the field unless we're up by 30 in the fourth quarter.
What happened to all the?
I don't know, but if he does see the field earlier, it might end up one of them seasons.
I can't believe you said that, Fish, after saying Nick Mullins all of last year.
Yeah. What happened to all that? I mean, we had Nick Mullins in. If we had Nick Mullins in, the backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now we got another backup quarterback. You don't want to see him in?
There's a key difference between Nick Mullins all of last year and this year, and that is Nick Mullins all of last year we had Sam Darnold as our starting quarterback. This year we've got J.J. McCarthy as our starting quarterback.
It's the same thing happened. That's why KOC loves this pick. Our starting quarterback went down last year with a knee injury. We had to put a gunslinger in. KOC just did
and it isn't even so much that Nick Mullins was going to fling it. Every time Nick Mullins went in, our offense all of a sudden looked like an offense again. If it was sputtering, if there's any problems, whenever Nick Mullins went in, all of a sudden it became an offense again.
All 3 of those passes, you're not wrong.
What team?
So the Hawks
did he complete all 3?
They drafted a quarterback this year, and I think they also have Drew Lock. So it was a full quarterback room, and we didn't give up much to get him.
We gave up nothing. That was nothing.
Yeah. We moved back 30 spots in the 4th round or 5th round.
In a terrible draft class. There's better UDFAs. There's better UDFAs that we picked up than the guys we drafted.
We could have got Ewers.
Ewers.
What a fall for him. God, talk about Shooter Sanders. What a fall for Quinn Ewers.
Brian Peterson's illegitimate child right there, man. After seeing his draft room. There he is. There's Peterson.
Sucking whatevers.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this. So we made this trade at pick 142, and we moved back 30 spots to 172. Would you rather have done that, or would you rather have taken Shore Sanders at 142?
I would rather have taken Quinn Ewers at 142.
Shaq.
I'll say I'd rather have traded for a quarterback only because I feel like Sam Howell's in the mindset of right now he knows he's not starting material, and he kind of sense like, well, he's more into the backup role, and he sees it now. If we would have took Shedeur, I think Shedeur would have seen it as a competition to where he wants to compete. Now I'm fully on board the J.J. McCarthy train, so I don't want a backup quarterback trying to actually be competitive and compete. I know it sounds backwards, but I feel like J.J. McCarthy, with the politics and everything aside, is his team. So we don't need no controversy behind him. And with Sam Howell, there won't be no controversy. I would have loved Shedeur Sanders if we didn't have J.J. McCarthy on this team. If we had no quarterback, I would have took Shedeur Sanders without a doubt. But with the current situation for the Vikings, we ain't need a quarterback, really.
We had exactly 17 more starts the day we took him in the trade, because we had 0 starts in that room before. It would have been a mistake to have to take a guy with no starts. I don't think a rookie was the right move. We now have an actual NFL pro. Sorry, I would love to have had Shedeur to Shaq's point, but no, I think that was the right move.
And if I was Sam Howell, I'd be through the fucking roof right now. I get to throw to the best wide receiver in football. My starting quarterback goes down, who already is coming off a knee injury, and I get to be with the quarterback whisperer. This could turn my whole career around to where I get a fat ass paycheck the following year. So I'd be stoked if I was Sam Howell. The confidence has to be through the roof for him.
Biggest winner.
I feel like at some point KOC needs to get a consulting fee off of these contracts he's creating.
I think he might have, though. We don't still know how big that contract was, bro.
No, I'm talking about like Sam Darnold signs, that banger contract, right? I feel like there should be a little bit of thanks, Kevin.
I mean, they are giving us a 3rd-round pick.
Does that go into Kevin's pocketbook? Does that help him buy groceries? Does that put his kids through college?
That helps him win a Super Bowl, which helps all those other things.
So
indirectly, yes.
Yeah, KOC got a contract for turning Sam.
As long as they show up to voluntary OTAs.
We're going to look back when we have a 2nd-round exit and say Justin Jefferson should have showed up to OTAs.
OTA.
I mean, the odds would be in my favor of saying that, though. The odds would definitely be in my favor of that happening. So, yeah, I'm happy with it. If it was Shedeur, the only reason I would want that, it'd be like the same reason I want Aaron Rodgers. Let's just see what this is all about. It's kind of like the same thing. I don't think it'd be the best move for the team. I think the best move was to have somebody with experience. While Hal doesn't have a lot, he did play 17 games. He started 17 games in the NFL. And yes, he had 21 interceptions, but that was on a shitty team. He also threw for almost 4,000 yards. He had 6 300-yard passing games on a bad team. So the guy can play. He's going to be under KOC. So if he has to come in, I'll feel pretty confident about things as long as it's not long-term. If anybody was our quarterback long-term besides JJ, I wouldn't have confidence. But I would, feel okay to go on a 3 to 5 game run with this dude. So that's where I'm at with that.
Me too.
I think many of us expected to be signing a player after this draft, and that hasn't happened yet. And that's Asante Samuel. I think a lot of us thought we would be signing him, but we weren't doing it before the draft because we didn't want to lose those comp picks. Got to hold on to those comp picks. We didn't draft a single cornerback in this draft. Not even in the 6th round, we didn't take a flyer on a cornerback. Like I thought for sure after that, okay, Samuel the next day or two is going to happen. That didn't happen. The only thing that happened was a report came out saying that Asante Samuel's camp has actually been contacting the Vikings to kind of trying to push them, and the Vikings aren't reciprocating the love. How you guys feel about that?
I think it's another, what is that, Diana Rossi's fucking report. I think it's bullshit in my opinion. The Vikings are obviously hurting at the cornerback position with a boundary cornerback, right? Either because they got to swap Rodgers and Murphy are at their trades at cornerback and slot corners. So you're hurting on an outside right now. I think the whole report's bullcrap. I think they're still looking at a cornerback that is still out there. It just might not be Asante Samuel.
It's probably Stephon Gilmore.
I don't think it's even Gilmore. I think there's 2 other guys that are interesting out there. The guy that played for the Texans. Did he play for the Texans?
I don't know. Did he?
I can't.
He's like Derek Stingley?
No, Titans, Fulton.
Kendall Fuller. He played for the Washington, and then last year he played for, I think, the Dolphins.
Well, you got Christian Fulton that's out there also.
So Fulton.
Yeah,
he played for the Chargers last year too. He was with Asante. He's walking the urgent care.
I feel like they could just wait. I mean, like, there's no rush.
Right, because they got Isaiah Rodgers and they're fully confident in him being that starting cornerback.
I ain't saying
Maybe you're right,
that.
Cody. Maybe they're going to sign a lower level cornerback because they already got their starters.
Mm-hmm.
There were 13 cornerbacks taken in the draft this year who are going to fill slots on teams' rosters once training camp starts. And there will be guys that get cut. There will be guys that get, salary problems. So if you look at last year, we inserted Gilmore in, and I know he's a perennial superstar, maybe even a borderline Hall of Famer, but he just walked into the camp and he started and he played pretty well. I think that they feel like they could do it again with another real solid older vet and not really lose a whole lot, to be honest with you. So I would be surprised if we do anything before the camp or even a good ways into camp. I wouldn't even be shocked at that.
Which means Stephon Gilmore's coming back because anybody better is going to be taken. I mean, at this point, if they're not going to sign Asante Samuel, like if that's not on their radar, then just bring Shaq Griffin back.
I don't have a problem with that.
Or you get a guy, or Caleb Farley is another one, or Jack Jones. So, I mean.
Or Jair Alexander, who said he wants to be cut.
See, that could happen. That's the kind of guy I'm talking about.
Do you really want Jair Alexander? Like, I've thought about it, man. I don't know if I really want that guy.
No, I don't want somebody who does a better gritty than Justin Jefferson does. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know. I take
Jair better.
Oh, absolutely. That gritty he hit on JJ was tight as shit.
I would take Jair in a heartbeat just so we can unlock if Justin Jefferson's next level, if he even has a next level. Like Megatron played against Darius Slay, and Darius Slay made Megatron into who Megatron is, and Megatron made Darius Slay into who he was. So if there's a next level where you can get Justin Jefferson into that god tier level of wide receiver, the Randy Mosses or the Jerry Rices, I would go do that.
Boyd, I'm not for this. Shaq, the trade sounds wonderful. I'm not paying him that money.
No way.
Fuck the cat. You know you got fuck the picks, fuck the cap too. We're trying to win the Super Bowl. You think the Chiefs care about how much they're paying these players? You think the Eagles care about how much they're paying these players?
We don't have money like that kind of money right now, so what we're gonna do is put it into the future, and then we'll be paying him when he's not even playing for us anymore. That's why we don't have Samuel, because we gave Van Ginkel the money. But now you think we got Jalen Ramsey money?
Yeah, but how much is guaranteed?
Thank you, Alex. That's what I was just saying earlier. The draft was dull. If for no other reason, keep them picks, because keep the draft interesting and entertaining.
It's only entertaining until week one until you see, wow, these players aren't really doing shit.
But didn't we have fun?
Hey,
to think how pissed that could have been when we didn't take a real defensive tackle in the second round if we'd have had a pick.
Oh boy, here we go.
Talking about all the draft picks we had, all the tight ends and the tight ends we went after in the draft and the undrafted free agents. Josh Oliver could be a little cut, a little surprising cut that we
this year. You think this year? Oh man, I don't see it this year.
I don't see it.
I don't trust our current tight end.
We ain't got a tight end 3, Cody. What are you talking about?
We don't have the best tight end 3 in the league right now.
I think he might still be available.
Who, Johnny Munt?
No, I think didn't he go like the Jaguars with Mullins?
Yeah. He might be a cut though. You never know.
No, but isn't who was our third tight end right before
Nick
Johnny
Muse,
Munt?
who's an Eagle now.
Like to get him back.
No. He went to the Giants, I think.
Conklin.
Conklin, yeah, I think he is available.
Oh, the Jets.
No, I think he went to
my bad. Yeah.
I think he went to the Chargers. I think he's in the Chargers.
Now?
Yeah. I think he signed him.
Yeah, he was on the Jets the last couple of years. He might have went to the Chargers. Yeah, I don't tight end through, who cares? I don't even know why we drafted one. But speaking of the guys we drafted, let's go ahead and get into these draft picks. Talk about the players a little bit. Let's give our grades. Let's give our thoughts. And after we trash them tonight, we will go forward in supporting them, Michael Fish, right? So the first overall pick for the Minnesota Vikings, Donovan Jackson. Now, first of all, are you guys surprised that we stuck in pick and we didn't trade back?
No. I'm not surprised at all.
When we did it, I wasn't. But then as a couple of minutes later, when I saw what happened with the Texans, I very much was. It's probably the thing that pissed me off the most.
Why is that? Like, let's say that the Texans ended up taking Donovan Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the Texans ended up taking Donovan Jackson. Love that scenario. I'm going to do my best, JJ McCarthy here. Thanks for bringing up that scenario, Keith. Okay. So they take Donovan Jackson. What were the picks that the Texans got in that deal? 34 and what?
99.
48. Was it 48?
99.
I think it was 48.
34.99, sir.
34.99. Okay. So 34.99. They get Donovan Jackson. We pick a defensive back with 34, and we pick somebody else with 99, and we're fine.
But the thing is, why did those defensive backs drop so far back?
Injuries.
And you were complaining all about this whole offseason when we signed some offensive linemen about injuries or being old.
Okay, yeah, I was complaining about 30-plus-year-old injury-prone players.
Well, how old is Will Fries?
26, 27, and his is a broken bone, Cody. His is not a tendon or a ligament, or in our center's case, a neck or a knee or a concussion. His was a broken bone. So, yeah, I mean, as a player, I'm sure he's going to be good. Do I think he's going to be that much better than Brandell to where it offsets the decision to not do other things? Also, 4 of our 5 offensive linemen are studs now. We don't need to have 5 studs on our offensive linemen. 4 can cover up a little bit of inadequacies on one, so long as they are not the left tackle.
But he might have to be the left tackle to start the season. And he can, because he did that.
I think we're more likely to see Blake Brandel go out to left tackle. He was the swing tackle before they moved him into guard. He actually performed pretty well the other time Darrisaw got injured, and he had to do it a couple of years ago. He wasn't that bad at it. So I think they're more likely to take the young player who's just entering the NFL, stick him in his position and say, learn and grow in the NFL, son. It's a different ballgame here, and move Brandell out to cover that left tackle spot.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I'm pretty sure Brandell's your swing guy in that scenario if we need him. But as far as the pick goes, I think that it's definitely not. It wasn't sexy, and I know that it would have been nice to get more picks because we were lacking picks. But I don't see. I understand why they did it, and I know we don't know what they actually were offered, but I do know that there wasn't another guard that would take the spot that would upgrade the position from Brandell to this guy. I think it's where I disagree with you on that one, Fish, is that Brandell was a bottom 5 pressure. He gave up bottom 5 pressures. If this guy doesn't have to be a top 5 guy this year, I do think he does have to be a really great guy in the future. But for year number 1, he's going into a perfect situation where if he can be middle of the pack, I think that's a huge upgrade to where what we had with Brandell. And I understand why they're doing it, because they're surrounding JJ McCarthy with protection. We have a rookie quarterback going in, and I don't think at that point in the season, after everything happened with free agency, there was a better alternative available at 24. At number 24 in that draft, that was the best the best option to protect our rookie quarterback. And that's why I like the pick. Whether the guy's got great talent, great skill, it's what was left on the board, and I see why they did it. Now, I understand they could have gone safety and maybe had another RAS score guy that went off the charts. I did not like Emin Wari at all. I'm really glad they didn't pick him. And as far as Starks goes, is that his name, Stark? I do not think he would have gotten any playing time this year. I really do not think he would have started. And I think we got a starter. And when I walked into this draft, I would have bet anybody that we didn't get a starter. And guess what? We did.
We got one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you why. There's 2 things I really love this pick for. Right, KOC said in the offseason, right after, or directly run the start of our offseason, right after the Rams game, that he's going to address the interior offensive line. He did that. All right, and I love a coach that keeps his promise. The second thing is I didn't hear any other team clamoring about Will Johnson, Malachi Starks, and those guys that are out there. I didn't hear about a report about, hey, a team was going to pick him, and if he wasn't there, they would trade out. But I heard that about the Texans with Donovan Jackson. I didn't hear anybody saying they were going to trade up for Malachi Starks. Teams just waited for him to get there because that's his talent.
I bet you if we had a look at the Ravens draft room after Malachi Starks fell to them, I bet you it'd be a laughing draft room just like when we got Jefferson. And they have Kyle Hamilton on their roster, and they were probably more than happy. I bet you that draft card was in 2 seconds. We're getting this guy.
They needed Malachi Starks. They had their strong safety with Hamilton. Now they have their free safety with Malachi Starks.
I think it was a good pick, and I think a lot of the problem is that people are having with this pick is they think that the Vikings big board looked like theirs, so they're assuming since the Vikings picked him that it was a panic pick. Oh my God, we have to do it. We don't know that, man. They might have had this guy really high on the list. Like they could be like, oh my God, he fell to us. No, we don't want your pick. This is our guy. He fell to us. So that's why I don't have a problem with it. Maybe they didn't want a safety. People were talking about they wanted a safety, but the Vikings weren't the ones saying they wanted a safety. Vikings were saying they want a cornerback. They didn't get a cornerback the whole damn draft. They didn't draft a safety the whole damn draft. So maybe that wasn't what they're looking for. They got a guard. That's what they wanted. They want to protect their investment in J.J. McCarthy. And I'm good with that. They spent all their money, a lot of money on defense in free agency. Like, they filled a lot of holes doing it that way. Did they secure themselves for the future a lot in the draft? No, they only had 4 picks. They weren't going to. But they got a guy who could be here the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy with the pick. At first I wasn't, but like I said, that was more of, damn, that's not sexy. I wait 3 hours for this. But then I'm like, oh man, it's actually a really good guy.
Well, that's the other thing is the guy. When I saw him do his interview, man, I could root for this guy all day. I like the guy. I think he's really, really and everyone fell into that mold. Super smart, really easy to they can talk really, like football-y. They're comfortable in their own skin. These are guys that look moldable to me. I would say that for every one of the picks, starting with this guy. I'm excited about him, actually. I think it's a good thing. I would have loved to go on after a defensive tackle, but they had all gone off the board. The run had come, and it was over. There wasn't a guy on D tackle at 24 that was a better fit than this guy.
This is going to be the first year to where I'll be happy to see my quarterback stand up like a statue and throw the fucking football. Because it's going to happen. He's going to have time this year.
So I'll say this also, we're forgetting to mention that he's going to be between 2 2 great offensive linemen, and Ryan Kelly and Christian Darrisaw. And since he's smart enough, he should be able to pick up some things left and right of him. And, the biggest thing that was killing us last year, we talked about it from preseason, stopping stunts. From preseason all the way to the Rams playoff game, we struggled against stunts. It was embarrassing because it's like all they got to do is fake a blitz here. Oh, he's coming around off this edge. And now Sam Darnold, pressure up the middle, sack, panic, interception. And it should have been an easy fix. And we couldn't fix it all last year. So I'm glad Cody had brought it up. KOC said he's going to fix his offensive line. And we did that. We can't be mad at fixing the offensive line because we have our franchise quarterback and we have to protect him. It's not just about protecting our franchise quarterback. It's also helping our run game.
Shaq, you make a really good point about the stunt thing, too. Sorrell, again, I'm going to refer to Sorrell's because I listen to the O-line committee or whatever show he's on. And he said that's his superpower. Like he picks up stunts like not thinking about it. Like it's what he does. He's really, really good at that. Where I think he's got a con from Sorrell's. He doesn't have good hands. He's got great feet. He wins with feet. He wins with technique, but his hands are still doesn't give that good punch yet. Yeah, but he doesn't overextend. Yeah.
So I like the pick. I think the only way I would be upset with this pick is if Jahdae Barron or Derek Harmon were on the board, and I was highly upset when they got snatched up right before that. So if they were on the board, either one of them were on the board, and then we took Jackson, I'd be pretty upset. But then again, they might not even been on the damn Vikings, radar. So at the end of the day, I think this is who they wanted. I think he was one of the top players that they wanted. They're happy to get him. I do think they were offered the same trade as the Texans, and we'll take a little more of a look at that later. But that still wasn't enough to move them. I think this was their guy, and they went and they got their guy because it was pick 34, pick 99, and a third rounder next year. And they said no if they got offered that. So I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and grade this. Start with you, Michael Fish. In the chat, let us know. What did you grade this pick?
All right. So is he a good player? Yes. He's gonna be a starter. He's gonna be an upgrade from Brandell. Was he drafted almost a full round before he was projected to? Yes. Were there better players still available in the draft? Yes. I go C.
Where was Shedeur Sanders projected to go? Projections, just projections.
Yeah. Quinn Ewers was a first-round pick last year, and he fucking completely fell off to the 7th round. So
you know what? Whoever drafted the Cleveland Browns for getting Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round would get an A.
What do you got, Rinaldi?
I give the pick a. I'm not gonna go all the way to A because it's still a freaking guard. So I'm gonna give it like a B plus. But I think the only other thing that I think is important to understand is that these guys really talk to the people they're going to draft. They may not have liked some of those other players that were still on the board. Even it's like you could say, hey, they had they picked top 30 guys. Well, they may have brought a top 30 guy in for that final interview and hated him. So
turned him off, right?
Yeah, he came in. He was like an idiot, and they don't like him. So I think there's more to the story than just talent and being able to praise what they look like in college and stuff. There's a lot more to it. This guy clicked a lot of the boxes as far as I can see. B plus.
I'm gonna be the one then. I'm gonna give it the A, and not because of that's what I wanted or anything, but I do believe we got a fit, a need, and probably the best available at that position. Like at 24, like I don't think we were going to get anybody else that was going to help us in what should be a Super Bowl run this year than he will, and he'll be here for the long term as long as he stays healthy. So I think given the circumstance that the Vikings were in, and also with their limited picks, like they weren't going to be able to trade back up and maybe try to do something else. Like this was their one shot. Like they could only take one player, then they're not drafted until almost day 3 for it. So. I give it an A. What about you, Shaq?
So I'll say this. Looking at the draft, if you look at all the offensive linemen, not tackles, but just guards and centers, Donovan Jackson was the best one that fit this scheme. I did say I had Tyler Booker number 1, but if we was to draft Tyler Booker, we would have to change our whole offensive line scheme. We would have to be more power gap zone. And with Donovan Jackson, he's the perfect blend of power and agility. So, we can still do the screen plays and we can still run up the middle. So that's why I feel like Donovan Jackson was the best fit for us. And with that being said, I give it a B plus. I can't give it an A only because offensive line is one unit. And it's going to be kind of hard to grade one player on offensive line unless you're looking at him directly every play. And you only gonna notice it when he fucks up or there's pressure on his side. But other than that, I give it a B plus.
Cody.
So when you look at the top 30 visits, there's like 4 players on that top 30 that were first round, that could be selected in the first round. You had Tyreek Williams, you had Derek Harmon, you had Donovan Jackson. And you had Siobhan Revel, right? And Siobhan Revel fell down to the 3rd round because of the injury scare. So you can almost take him off there. I think when Derek Harmon came off the board, that was our very top pick of who we wanted, right? He came off the board super early. And it came down to, I would almost say, a coin flip between Tyreek Williams and Donovan Jackson of who they wanted at that pick 24, right? And I can't wait to see the video of, the back behind the scenes like we saw of the pick. Like, I would love to see that communication between KOC and Kwesi about it. And I think Donovan Jackson was either our number 2, maybe that 1A. And I'm going to give the pick just because of that. We follow through our top 30 visits. I'm going to give the same thing as you, Keith. I'm going to give it an A.
Nice.
Ooh.
They didn't wait long either, Cody, man. They put that pick right in.
Yep. And that's what people need to know. You need to, like the rest of the top 30 visits weren't anywhere near sniffing a first round.
No.
Not even near. But you can see who they pointed out, who they wanted in this year's draft by looking at those top 30 visits. And I think more people should look into those top 30 visits to see who they're going to pick in the first.
And as I brought it up in our group chat, I almost think it pigeonholed us.
Yeah.
Well, good. That's who you wanted. That's who you went out and got.
Yeah, but I mean, it pigeonholed us. It put us in a situation. Harmon went too early. Siobhan Revel was way too late. So oh my God.
You have 4 players in your top 30.
Wait, you're assuming they wanted those guys though. You're assuming they had them ranked higher.
Hey, you know what? A lot of people are assuming that the Texans wanted Jackson too, but I'm going to use your logic, Keith. They didn't take a guard this entire draft. They didn't even take a UDFA.
Because there wasn't one left. There was none left.
Oh,
but
so
that's
they
fine.
probably just didn't want one.
But you know, I didn't use that as part of my argument. My argument is that this was probably the Vikings guy, and they were happy that he fell into their laps, and they didn't make a trade. I didn't say their word. Oh, if we trade, the Texans are right behind us. They're going to take them. I didn't say that.
I'm using that logic. I mean, Tate Ratledge was right there. They could have had him.
They literally had 4 players in their top 30 visits, right? You would have seen them trade back if all 4 of those players were picked up in the draft before the Vikings.
I agree.
So in other words, they reached because he was a top 30 visit. Yes, they pigeonholed.
That's who they had on their draft board as their top 4. That's who they wanted.
But they reached. I mean, any way you slice it, they reached.
How did they reach? How did they reach?
He was picked almost a full round before.
Oh, because ESPN told you like where he was supposed to go?
I mean, they know a little bit more about this shit than us. I mean, and you know what?
But they don't know a damn thing about the Vikings and what the Vikings
we were evaluating guards a few weeks ago. We were calling him a second round selection. We were saying he was mediocre. We were saying he just looked like a guy. So don't tell me because ESPN. We came up with that too, watching him.
Well, thank God.
Right. Like I said, we don't know shit. We're entertainment.
Shaq not part of we. I knew. I said late first, early second, and he went late first.
That's what I had on the freaking PowerPoint too.
So it's kind of like at the end of the day, the Vikings was in a luxury. We might not see it like that, but that was a luxury pick. We didn't have really a need, and we could take a guard who was best player available at a need that we have. Yeah, we could have took a corner who probably won't start this year. Yeah, we could have took a safety who probably won't start this year. Yeah, we could have took a running back who probably won't start this year. But at the end of the day, we had a need, and we secured a guard that will probably start this year.
For sure. I came out early. I was all about Gray Zabel, right? I heard somebody say Gray Zabel. There might have been Thor or somebody on one of those shows. And I kind of jumped on Gray a little early. But, I think it was mostly because he sounds like a Viking. Gray Zabel Viking. It's like, but the reality is the guy, that guy.
I didn't like Gray Zabel.
Yeah, you never did. And that guy got drafted, 17 or something like that? But I always knew that he was a project. And I never thought he'd start. And I never even gave Jackson a thought, even though Shaq showed me it right in front of my fucking face, that this guy could be a starter. And, I think he's going to be. So
snakes and tanks, you should pick only superstar. Bro, there was not a single fucking superstar left on that board after pick 5. I'm going to let you know right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there might have been one.
We could have got Jahad Campbell,
but we got him. Yeah. So that one we grade the grade averaged out to like a 2.45, which is a B plus or a C plus B minus. So that's where we graded that as a group.
That's where it should be.
It's not an A.
It's not an A. Collectively, it's not an A. But
Robbie's twitching now.
But from those who know, actually, this would work out for Robbie. The math checks out. There's a couple of A's that raised a couple of D's, and then there's a lot of B's and C's. So the superstar that was still left in the draft that we didn't have to take at 24, Ty Felton.
So this pick pisses me off. Like, I mean, it's nothing towards Ty Felton. It's nothing towards Ty Felton, right? It's everything towards doing something to go get Siobhan Revel, right? You're scared about the injury, and you want to, and you're too scared about taking a gamble to go get Siobhan Revel. You basically took a gamble right here for a wide receiver 3. And he's going to be a good wide receiver 3, in my opinion. I think he's already better than what Jalen Naylor is, skill set wise. I'm going to give the grade a solid B for Ty Felton getting the pick, but I hate it because Siobhan Revel was still was in that round that we could have traded up and get. I would have gave up draft capital just to go get him.
But what? What? We didn't have anything to trade. What they want? Two fifths, a six.
I would have gave him. I
promise you a pick later. Like we got nothing.
Eric, take our fourth. Take our fourth, and I'll trade, and our next year's third, and I'll go up and get you.
Yeah.
Like you could have done. This is a middle round area. Like you can trade up.
But again, they didn't draft a cornerback at all, and so maybe that just really was not on their radar. Cornerback. We all thought that obviously they were going to go get one, but they did sign Isaiah Rodgers, so it wasn't really a need, I guess.
Well, the weird thing about the top 30 picks again, Siobhan Revel was only one of 2 cornerbacks, I think, in that top 30.
I mean, it could be that they did medicals on him, but they didn't really like what they saw, or they didn't feel like he was ready to go early in the season, so they just passed on him. Because we brought him in for a top 30, but, obviously they didn't feel comfortable taking him. That's the only thing I can come up with.
You can almost say that we were, and like Keith is saying, we probably weren't even looking at corner. We're probably looking at one corner, and that was Siobhan Revel, and he ended up getting picked way up in that round of the draft. So it kind of makes sense where the pick went to with Ty Felton.
I don't think he sent a
watching this guy's video. He reminds me of Stephon Diggs, and I'm not just saying that because of Maryland, because I didn't watch Diggs in college. When we drafted Diggs, I had no idea who he was, and I wasn't really watching any tape after the fact because I really didn't care. Like, I wasn't doing the show or anything like that. But just the way he moves, gets into open space, and makes the catches, it gets the yards after the catch, the way he runs really reminds me of Diggs.
Mm-hmm. And he's what you want your wide receiver 3 to be. I mean, a mixture between Diggs and I got him mixture of Diggs and Jarius Wright. Mr. Third Down.
Okay. Cody said he hated this pick, then proceeded to give it.
No. I also said I don't hate the player. I said I hated the pick.
Okay. So you don't hate it enough because this is a D. And the only reason I don't give it an F is because he was a value. As much as I penalized Jackson for being taken around too early, this guy was taken around later than he was projected. So I'm going to give him the benefit. But from what I understand about his write-up, his draft write-up was one of his big problems being so slight of frame is he has a problem against press man coverage. What was our biggest problem out of our wide receiver core last year? Getting off the line against press man coverage. He doesn't bring anything. He might not even crack the roster. And there were so many better options out there that we could have taken instead of him, even without trading up. D.
Well, thank God he's a wide receiver 3, and he's probably going to be lined up in the slot most.
I don't even think he's going to make wide receiver
3. Or there's not a cornerback on the boundary pressing you. But yeah, you can keep going with that.
I'm just gonna say Ty Felton is gonna end up being wide receiver 3, only because I remember bringing up this last year. And what a perfect offense! What would we want to complement Justin Jefferson and Addison? A receiver who could catch the ball short and get yak yards. I know wherever Robbie is, he will enjoy a receiver who can get yards after the catch, and that is what Maryland used Ty Felton for. Shout out to Maryland. Baltimore, blonde, because Ty Felton brings speed to the game. He is a receiver. You just throw him the ball, and he could just take off. I wouldn't say he reminds me of Stephon Diggs. He more so reminds me of Percy Harvin because he could be used more versatile, as in you could hand him the ball, you could do a quick screen, and he could take it to the touchdown. But I don't think he has the ball skills of Stephon Diggs.
I do like how Brian Peterson mentioned Gunner about 17 times in the comment section. We just did lose one of our Gunners who got cut just recently.
Yeah, this guy's gonna probably play some Gunner, or at least he's gonna be in the mix for Gunner, and he's gonna be in the mix for punt returner too, from what I understand. Mm-hmm. I as far as like comparing him to other players, it says that he's like a really good route runner on here. I don't know if he's like that good of a route runner, but I do think he's got a lot of production, right? We didn't draft. There's a couple of guys we drafted, the top 2, that are production, right? That had a lot of playing time. After this pick, it's not about production. This guy had production. That is a hell of a stat line for a college player. He's 22 years old. And to Shaq's point, I think he's a yak guy. We do not have a yak guy on this team. God forbid. God forbid we could throw 96, a bubble screen.
96 catches, but he don't got ball skills.
Right. God forbid we could throw a bubble screen and fucking get the yardage. Yeah. I mean, I think that we're going to see this guy doing that. And I think JJ McCarthy is the kind of quarterback that'll find this guy open early in the route tree. And I think that's what you're going to see with him. I hope he gets on the field. And then the other reason it's a good pick is because Speedy is in his final year. So at least, if nothing else, he's a development player that could probably step in for Speedy next year, and we wouldn't have too much of a back pedal. So fuck you, Robbie.
Yeah, fuck Robbie.
See, Robbie likes to say stuff to sound like he knows what he's talking about, but he doesn't, because this guy can run routes and he can also like create space himself and get it into open up windows for the quarterback. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. Like, he just wants to say stuff to act like he knows something. But if Dana's not in his ear, he don't know what he's talking about.
It's because it's a Maryland receiver, Big Ten. He's not really important. All the stuff he did is in the Big Ten. That's why Robbie don't care for him.
I mean, that makes sense too. Both could be right.
Out of the middle of his forehead right now.
So, if Cody, you gave it a B. Michael Fish, what'd you give it? I stepped away.
A D.
A D. Rinaldi?
B.
Shaq?
B.
I also gave it a B. Which, for what was available, I like it. I wanted to.
That's an A.
I wanted to decide if that D wasn't in there, it would have been an A. All those B's would have turned into an A if that D wasn't there, but that kept it grounded. But I wanted us to get another wide receiver. I wanted a wide receiver 3. Like, I was in on Cooper Kupp and all that. So I'm glad that we addressed it. I do think he is going to start the season as wide receiver 3. I mean, that's not even a hot take. Who we got next? Oh, yes. Robbie's got to love this one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Probably our best pick, right, Robbie? He should have went first round.
He's a top 30 visit too, right?
Was he?
I don't know. You're my top 30 guy.
Yeah, he was definitely a top 30 visit.
So him, like, he's someone like I really don't know anything about. Like, I try to scrounge up a little bit of research, and I saw that you see his combine grades. If you take the combine into account for anything, he was number 2, 1, and first in everything as far as defensive tackles go.
Yeah.
And what the Vikings did do in this draft is they went heavy on the guys who did good in the combine and who had high RAS scores. And this guy had one of the highest RAS scores since the RAS score was invented. So they're just looking for those guys that are athletic, and then can they fit into our system? Can KOC do something with him? Can Bifo do something with him? And they saw something in him that they like.
So I'll say this: he is definitely an athletic defensive tackle, defensive end, versatile. I think what they was looking for is, somebody who could be a rotational pass rusher, like get in for a couple of plays, and then we just have an all-out fast blitz with all these speed rushes getting to the quarterback, and that's something he showed. I think this pick more so is about all projection and probability, like kind of how when we picked Danielle Hunter or even Patrick Jones, somebody who could develop in a year or two and then eventually become a solid, great starter for us.
I mean, it was a problem that the Georgia team was just too deep and he couldn't get in.
He had some injury problems.
I mean, the tape looks good.
I think it was injuries.
He had injury problems in his junior year.
I think it matches B-Flow's little scheme he likes to do because we don't play a nose tackle. We usually have two dudes with their hand in the dirt, and the rest of them are linebackers or fast, stood up defensive ends or defensive tackles. And I think he plays exactly into the mold of what B-Flow loves to do. He's going to be a guy that's going to be stood up, even though he's a defensive tackle because he's a tweener. All right, and the other two guys that are a bigger set defense tackles, it's basically like having our two defense tackles as our nose tackle and what B-Flow likes to do. Right. I don't think we see much of 3 to 4 down linemen on our defense. It's always 2, and the rest are just stood up. All right, it's a blend of linebackers and defensive tackles, and sometimes those defensive tackles like Dawkins, they can blend in and look like a linebacker, and that confuses quarterbacks. And that's how he's successful in what he runs at defense.
Positionless football.
Because that's right. It.
The guy he does look like an athlete though too. He does move like an athlete. I like that about him. I don't think you're going to see a lot of him on the field during the regular season, to be honest with you. I think he's a developmental player, and that's what you're going to get at the position he was picked at. But I think there's a lot of upside, and I hate the cliche of ceiling and floor, but this guy's ceiling is pretty high, and his floor is pretty low. I mean, we don't really know what we got, but we have had a lot of success making that third or fourth defensive end really well. I mean, the Weatherlys, we can go down the line. I mean, if we get that out of a 5th round pick, I'd be pretty excited about it, and that would be okay. That would be fine.
I think you said the best quote. You said the floor is really low and the ceiling could be really high. That sounds like a 5th round pick to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's an F to me. I'm going to break up all this bullshit. He's an F to me. I mean, with what was available, who got picked right after him, and we got a tweener that everybody's trying to turn into Daniil Hunter in their minds because he was picked in the 3rd round and he's raw. Meanwhile, a real live, legitimate, could have been contributing defensive tackle was taking the next pick, and Cameron Jackson. Yeah, this is a bullshit pick. I hated it.
We don't play like that, though. We don't have this 360.
I got news for you, buddy. The last several Super Bowl winning teams did not necessarily play positionless football. If you're not great at something, you're not going to be good at anything.
Then get rid of your defensive coordinator.
He's going to be gone soon enough, regardless.
If you want to switch it up to a more old school,
Cody, I want us to go back to a 4-3. Who are you arguing with? By the way, my grade's an F, Keith.
Were you the first one to grade?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm going with the C.
Fish is saucy tonight.
C as well.
Where'd you go, Rinaldi?
C.
Shaq?
I give it a B.
A B. Fish, they're loving you in the chat. Let you know that much.
Well, I adore my fans. But unlike somebody like Robbie who thinks that I'm just playing a role,
I give it a C because I see what they're going for. I see the potential of what he could be. I just with so few picks, I don't know that was the right move. Like there was other players that I liked that we could have went after. So I'll give it a C because maybe.
I wanted Saw Frazier.
We had to replace Patrick Jones.
Patrick Jones?
Yeah, we need a replacement.
Yeah, Dallas Turner.
Ooh.
Can't do it, Robbie. You told me that I was playing a role. Insulted the shit out of me, motherfucker. Love you, but that pissed me off.
How crazy would it be if Tyron ended up playing more snaps than Dallas Turner this year? How hot of a take.
I also wouldn't mind Yaya Black. He was good for Iowa.
Yeah, he's just too big for this scheme.
I thought this was a good pick, especially where we got him. Kobe King?
Yeah, I agree.
What? Never mind. I hate this pick.
I'm more of a honey bun, Robbie, not a roll.
No, he's solid, and like I didn't know anything about him. I really didn't. But then after the draft, I was like, okay, I did feel like we needed a linebacker. Let me go look up this dude. And man, he's a vicious hitter. Like he plays like an old school linebacker, and I like that. And just like an old school linebacker, not great in coverage, but he does stop the run, and he doesn't let shit get by him. Like he's a stone wall. He's dirty. He's got some nastiness to him. I like the way he plays football, and I think he's going to make an impact on this season.
He reminds me of another Penn State linebacker we drafted. Was it Michael Motti or Audi Cole?
It wasn't a vicious.
So I agree with Robbie, and it really pisses me off that I do. But all right. So why did I really like him when I was kind of indifferent during the draft about him? Is because I started to realize, our free agents that we signed up front, Jonathan Allen, right, and Javon Hargrave.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
they're kind of more pass rushy defensive tackles, maybe not so strong against the run. So having a brick shithouse like him behind them kind of helps that out a little bit. Not so much a slasher like Pace, but just an absolute wall. And I really like it when he's going to get to play.
I don't get that, Tommy. I don't think it matches. I think we got a steal on him. Like he looks like a fourth round talent to me. We got him in the 6th.
I almost wanted to give him an A, and A.
But can you give him that he was taken in the 6th round because you went down on Jackson because he was taken in the 1st round?
See, that's the difference, Keith. You're actually proving my point.
I'm not. I'm saying based on how you graded it in the Jackson, you said because we reached, now we got him later. So shouldn't that help his grade?
Yes, that's why if you'd used your 2 ears instead of your one mouth right before you said that,
I only have 1 ear. I only have one earbud in, son, so I only got one.
Oh, only one of your earbuds is working? Is that what it is?
I only put one in so I can hear myself talk on the other one.
Oh, okay. So as I was saying,
special.
I was teetering on an A, and I'm giving him an A.
Well, why don't you just say that?
Because I have to build up, Keith.
Oh, Fish, I love you, man.
I love you too, dude. Like a
Ronaldo, what do you think about Kobe King?
So I had this as one of the best. I think the second best draft pick we had in this draft. I had him almost with Donovan Jackson. He reminds me a lot of Ivan Pace in college, right? How Ivan Pace was a nasty football player in college. He got to the pro level, found out he's kind of a little small. The nastiness kind of went away, but he's still a decent linebacker. Kobe King, he's 6'1", 230, very similar height and weight to Ivan Pace. I hope it translates to being that nastiness translates to the pro level when it gets a little faster. Dudes are a little bigger. I have him just like what I have Ivan Pace, nasty ass linebacker, and I'm going to give this one a B+.
I mean, play for Penn State. He played against good competition. Didn't they go close to the national championship this year?
Yes.
I think he's built a little different than Ivan Pace. They're close in the height and weight, but he's built a little more stout.
He's a little taller too.
Is Pace 6 foot?
No, Pace is 5'10".
Yeah, so he's 6'1".
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 3-inch. Yeah, this kid's.
He's a linebacker. He's a real linebacker.
He's a linebacker. This is a linebacker.
Yeah,
he ain't like that Ohio State linebacker last year. Remember what was that guy Eichenberg, Shaq?
Hey, don't disrespect him.
I ain't trying to.
The only thing I don't like about Kobe King is his 1.5 tackles for loss. That kind of scares me.
Well, I mean, he's not a guy that's playing in the backfield. Like that's not what he does.
Well, he's not good at playing the edge. I don't think. I think he's solid in the middle. But
and that's where he plays in the middle.
When you have to play sideline to sideline, I think he has some trouble in that.
But he's also the guy out there that's calling the defense. I have defensive QB on here because he's the guy that's out there and putting players into position before the snap. He's seeing what the offense is doing. He's the one calling out and telling players where to be. So B-Flow needs a guy like that on the field at all times.
I think a good description for this kid is tone setter. He'll put a snot bubble in somebody's nose and set the tone on defense.
Yeah,
I'll give it an A.
David.
Yeah,
I like this pick.
I think you guys are all a little bit. I'm going to tap the brakes slightly on it. The guy fits the scheme that I don't know about scheme. He fits the mold that they picked on most of their picks this year. He's smart. He was a team captain. He called the D, to Keith's point, but I also think he's a 6th round linebacker with 2 or 3 guys in front of him. I think that his major contribution for the shut up, Robbie, you bitch. His main contribution for this team is going to be special teams. I think he's a sure tackler. And I think this guy is going to be a good player, is a good pick, but I mean, I'm not going to give him a B or an A. I think it's crazy for a 6th round linebacker with no positional value, and that really doesn't. If he can't cover people, he can't play linebacker very often. So I don't think he's.
I mean, Ivan Pace plays a hell of a lot of linebacker and can't cover people.
I wouldn't say he can't cover people. I do think it's his weakness.
Does this guy put Asamoah out of a job?
Yeah,
and that's what I was going to say. Like saying that we got linebackers. Like, who the linebackers ahead of him? Cashman and Pace. Then who?
Yeah, that's it. And we're going to carry 4. We're going to carry 4. That's it. That's what we got.
I found crazy about the whole thing. I think our top 2 most top 30 visits at by position was linebacker and tight end this year.
Yeah, it was weird.
Did they feel like linebacker and tight end was a need for us? So we had to go pick them up out in the middle rounds, the late rounds.
Well,
put me down for a C minus, Keith.
You I don't know. I got to do the math, but you might have just lost our A.
I gave it a C, by the way.
Yeah, there you go, Shaq.
See, he's a 6th round pick, and he's going to make the 53.
Hopefully.
He's going to make the 53. It's not even a hot take. This is the one I have questions on, even if it's a 6th rounder, because I feel like we got a better tight end as a UDFA. I feel like we could have got him as a UDFA. I feel like we could have got Rashard Smith at this position, at this pick, and been set up. We could have let Aaron Jones go next year, and we would have still had a good running back tandem. So I don't like this pick off the bat. And I'm going to say it's a D. I don't want to give it an F because I'm not going to give anybody an F because I don't know, but from what I've seen, what I've read, what I've looked at, I don't see why we had to draft him. Anybody got something for me?
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know who the UDFAs are going to be, right? And the only reason why I spoke positively about this is because we literally don't have a tight end 3 at that point. So,
but you know, there's going to be UDFA tight ends.
But we don't know who's going to be the UDFA tight end. I mean,
but we know there's going to be that. I don't know how he separated himself.
I don't know. Maybe he's got incriminating pictures, Keith. I don't know.
Maybe he had a really good interview. Is this it right here, Shaq?
He got thighs. Is this when he hurt over somebody?
No.
Was he the best tight end available?
Shit. I mean, I
feel like the Georgia tight end's better.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that they thought a tight end and a middle linebacker were positioned.
There it is.
The draft. That blows my mind.
There's the play.
What's his name, Cody? What's the Georgia tight end name?
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't know his name no more? The top 30 visit?
I don't know anybody after the first round because that's how bad this draft was, man.
Like, Ben Urosek.
Ben Urosek. There we go. That's a top 30 visit. Yeah, I don't. It's just wild to me. We picked the tight end and a middle linebacker in this year's draft.
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect us to draft the tight end because I feel like we could have just got one in UDFAs.
They were middle linebacker and tight end were one of our 2 top 30 visits this year. So they know.
Alex, UDFAs are going to get their own episode.
Yep, we're going to talk UDFA next week because we know we signed a bunch of them, but we haven't looked into them, and we want to actually be able to talk about them and see which ones we think actually have a chance to make the roster. We're not going to talk about them for 2 hours, but we want to actually be able to know who they are. So we're gonna do UDFAs next week. Plus, we need stuff to talk about. Each
the my take on this is that tight ends take a while to develop, no matter what. And like looking at Nick Muse, that we had him on the roster for 4 years. We kept bringing him up and down, and he got poached. And I don't love the pick because of that. We're gonna develop somebody. Maybe I don't know if he's developable. I'm not gonna say he's great pick, but if somehow he turns out to be a developable tight end, and I just kind of feel like he's gonna get poached. It's hard to keep a third string tight end on your roster for any length of time, and very few tight ends come out of school and are very good. So it's like a UDFA as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's a good pick or a bad pick. It's a fucking C- D. It's a D. Give me a D.
It's a D. Thank you.
This is an F for me, just because I don't think he even makes the roster. I think he's a practice squad guy. You probably see him in all 4 preseason games. And when you had Brashard Smith, a guy that would have made the roster with the other, because you have 4 picks, you need to have 4 picks that make the roster, right? And Brashard Smith is the guy.
Where did Brashard Smith go? The Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
So now they got another Pacheco.
Yep.
How do they do it? How do they do it?
Maybe they're comfortable with Mason or Jordan Mason right now, and they're waiting for next year's draft for a running back. So I think there's 4 or 5 that are coming out next year. But this is F for me. It's because I find it crazy why we're tight ends a priority for top 30 visits this year. We have 3 already. I don't know. I'm good.
And Jason, that's totally right. 1 starter, and that's going to be our guard. But we only had 1 pick inside the top 100. So people who are complaining, like, oh, we didn't get a bunch of starters in this draft. Like, how many starters do you think you're going to get with 1 top 100 pick?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just not. You're not. None of them are going to start.
We had 2. We had 2.
2 what?
Didn't we? We started with 2.
Yeah, okay. 1 was 97, Fish, but then it turned into 102.
Robbie, they didn't need a safety because they paid Theo Jackson. I don't like you could have.
Funny thing is, I posted the link and Robbie ain't even here.
You could have understood the reason why they didn't pick a safety, because they paid a safety this year.
And Queasy said it. They feel comfortable with the guys they have in the safety room, that they didn't feel like any of the safeties could have started.
I can't wait for Theo Jackson to just crush this year. I can't wait to see it happen.
I've been waiting. This is 3 years I've been waiting. So yeah.
I can't wait
to be proven wrong.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and revisit the 24th pick, where we might have been called to trade with the Giants and picked up 34 and 99 and a 3rd rounder next year. These are who I think were the best players available at those spots. Let me know if there's any combination that you would take over Donovan Jackson.
Yes.
No.
Fish hasn't even read it yet. Yes.
Maybe. Not a single one.
I mean, you'd have to get Jonas Savinina. I still can't say his name, but you almost have to take him and then one of the other 3. And is that better?
There would be one dude I would take out of this group and I'd be solid with. It'd be Luther Burden. Like, honestly, Luther Burden is a 1st-round talent wide receiver. He's one of my 5 that I had in there.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
And where
did he go to the Bears?
Yeah, he went to the Bears.
No, Bears.
Didn't we have Tate Ratledge ranked higher than Jonah when we were evaluating?
We never really got to talking about Tate Ratledge, except saying that I liked him. Like, we never really included him in anything that we did.
I mean,
I'm going to see Sinners on Saturday.
Yeah, if it were me, I guess I would be just as happy with Will Johnson and Deion Walker, maybe, because I think we needed a corner and a D tackle. But I'm happy with a starter.
Mm-hmm.
Will Johnson, you're probably getting like 4 or 5 years out of it, even if he's good.
Right.
That's all we need.
Luther Burden was nasty. I think Luther Burden is better than Jordan Addison. He would have been nasty on this team.
But I tell you what, with these choices, given the hypothetical, I'm sorry, I think Travion Henderson and Deion Walker.
And the 3rd next year, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I'll wait till the running backs next year.
I mean, I can see it, but like we picked a draft that wasn't really that deep in talent, and we picked a boring, needed position. Like I don't know, like that we could be mad at that.
Yeah, but where was it deep? It was deep in both lines and running backs.
Not when it got to us.
Okay, but and defensive tackle it still was. There was still plenty of good stuff. There was plenty of meat on the bone in the 3rd round. There was still some meat on the bone in the 5th round with defensive.
We got one.
That boy skinny. There ain't no meat on that bone.
He's 6'5".
Be a tweener.
He's 6'5".
Skinny.
I don't know. I can see the argument either way, but I think what was best for the team was getting Donovan Jackson. I do see some intriguing options between those two, plus having a 3rd round pick next year, because we already have like 8 picks next year, and adding a 9th would be pretty sweet, I guess. Like I could see it, but for the past 5, 6, 7 seasons, we've been crying about fixing this offensive line, and they did something to do that. Like every position on the offensive line is solid. There shouldn't be a sieve on that whole offensive line. Shouldn't be. As long as Ryan Kelly plays more than 12 games, right, Fish?
Yeah. That's the thing, though, and this has kind of been part of my argument, is even if we didn't take Donovan Jackson, because the other 4 are so good, our offensive line would still be top 5. They would, just like Darrisaw hid some of Brandell's deficiencies last year. I mean, Brandell and Kelly, you wouldn't, I mean, not Brandell, Darrisaw and Kelly, you would hide a lot of Brandell's deficiencies, which is why I thought that we didn't really need him. We don't really need him because we'd still be really good without him. We could have got something else. We needed a little more.
Wouldn't you think we'd be better off like if we end up having a top 5 offensive line? Don't you think it's the best thing for us with what we already have going on, especially what we did in free agency on defense?
Yeah, it's not just a top 5 offensive line; it's a top 5 offensive line with depth. We saw it last year. Look, Darrisaw went down. Let's hope to God that doesn't happen to either one of our tackles. But now we've got a real swing tackle that can do it. I think it's a depth thing as well. We not only got better on the starting 5, we got better in the depth side too. And not many offensive lines play all year. I don't get how that's not a win. It's a win either way.
And when KOC says something, it's not going to be half-ass. It's not going to be 3/4. Hey, I'm going to pick up a center and a guard, and that's me fixing the interior offensive line. No, I'm fixing the whole entire fucking interior offensive line. I'm getting 2 guards and a center. Remember post or pre-draft, it was we will be lucky to get a center and 2 guards. Look what we just did.
Talk that talk, Fish. No offensive line in the league is 5 for 5 on the O-line. Our O-line was already fixed. So you're saying we're the only 5 for 5, baby? I'm sorry. We're not top 5. We're top number 1.
I mean, when you say you're going to do something.
Okay, Shaq.
I'm fixing the interior.
Timing out, Shaq.
Yeah, I think the Eagles definitely had a top 5 offensive line with top 5 players at each position on that offensive line.
Cody would argue that. He would say that Mekhi Becton was a bullshit guard that got protected by everybody around him.
You guys want a Packer fans input?
It's possible, sure. But when he came to play, he was holding his own.
Yeah, I think if you got Mekhi Becton, you're not getting a center. It's impossible. KOC says he's fixing the interior offensive line. He fixed the whole guy.
Mekhi Becton signed for $8 million.
The whole goddamn thing he fixed.
He didn't sign for an astronomical amount of money. It wasn't that much, but maybe he just wasn't their fit, wasn't their guy.
But with our coaches and our team guys,
maybe Becton likes California beaches and not Minnesota snow.
How much are you going to pay for an offensive line? We got a rookie scale contract on the offensive line that we need. Every other guy in the line's getting paid.
I wish our new hire made it so we couldn't get Becton.
I wish KOC
didn't like him.
I wish KOC said he was going to fix 2/3 of the interior offensive line during that press conference. I think that would have been it would have made sense with not drafting Donovan Jackson.
Steve, what's up, man?
Steve?
What's up?
So what do you want to tell us?
One, any guy who gets drafted to a team, you should just give him a chance. Everybody's looking always for like these top name, big name players. Like I said, the Jackson pick, tell you the truth, there's depth right there. That's depth. You got a rookie quarterback. Back. Now, who got hurt? Now, he's coming off an injury. Okay? See, none of us knows what's going to happen at any time. And I tell you what, as a Packer fan, as our O-line was, you need the depth because you never know. At any moment, any guy could go down. You need O-line depth. And with a young, now, like I said, I was talking to Sarah today and Zoe, a bunch of the Viking fans. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to knock McCarthy. I'm not going to knock him. But don't put him on a high pedestal yet. Now, I said, hey, with that offensive core you guys got, Justin Jefferson, Addison, and everything, McCarthy could sit them through for 5,000 yards this year, 30, 40, almost close to 50 touchdowns. Nobody knows. But the thing is, they got to protect this guy. And he is a franchise, your guys' franchise quarterback. Now, you went and got Sam Howell, which is a good, somewhat sounding backup compared to what you had. See, to me, over the years when I watched the Packers draft, Packers go out and get guys that you would probably never even thought of that they would get. The thing is, and I'm like, oh, man, I wanted this guy. Now, like, I ain't going to not last year. Yes, I would hope that we would have drafted Cooper DeJean in first, but we didn't. Who we get? Morgan, offensive tackle. But you know what? I looked at it as depth because the offensive line is probably the most important piece of that offense. If you ain't got a well-rounded offensive line and depth, you're in trouble. Your offense is in trouble. I don't care what receiver you got, what quarterback you got, what running back you got. You better get some O-linemen and you better get some depth there. In Minnesota, I tell you what, you guys got a well-sounded team. You guys, what you guys did in free agency and everything else, the only things riding on you guys is this rookie quarterback. Everything is on J.J. McCarthy's shoulders. You guys have a stout offense without the quarterback, but J.J. could be it. That defense you guys are putting together, you can't take nothing away from them.
I can't.
So I think everything you guys did in free agency in these draft picks, yes, you have 4 or 5 picks. I wouldn't knock them. Give them a chance. And in your undrafted free agents, look, I know you guys will probably remember this. You guys had one of the top defensive guys that was an undrafted free agent in history in John Randall.
I don't know the name. Doesn't really ring a bell.
Who doesn't know John Randall?
I've watched his 30 for 30 probably a dozen times. So, yeah.
John Randall, go.
Steve, you're very complimentary of the Vikings right now. So what made you want to come on here and do that?
Well, the thing is, I just love talking football, and everybody's like down in like players and whatever. And I'm a person that like you just don't know. I love the sport. I played football all my life. It's my life. And the thing is, it's just like there's so many knocks on. Like everybody wants these top name players in the first round, and look how many of those big guys that were top name became bust. And then you get these guys in rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 undrafted who become perennial stars. And and whatever. And just the thing is, there's all this negativity on these players. If I was you guys should be really enjoy. Give these guys a chance because you never know. This Jackson, no idea. He could be a depth piece, a starter, or whatever, but he could be a real good perennial piece on this offensive line to protect this young rookie quarterback. That's going to need it. Because you know what? Detroit's defense ain't no joke. The Bears' defense ain't no joke. And I tell you right now, our defense ain't no joke. And the other one's out there. So,
Boom.
like I said.
Thank you.
I like your UDFA presumption. Like it's I love how Quessy takes advantage of UDFAs because I think the number is 12% of UDFAs become hits in the draft. Quessy just grabbed 12% of all the UDFAs, and he's like, I'm gonna hit on one, and he's hit on one every single year. I mean, we're still waiting on Gabe Murphy from last year, but right, dude's batting over 300. So you batting over 300, you're a great ball player.
Well, the thing is, these players gotta want it. They gotta have the heart. What does this mean to them? You know, you get some of these players who are these top stars, these top big name football players, and they go out off the field and they do something stupid. If I should name some names like Henry Ruggs, I mean, come on. I mean, yes, he drove his sports car 150, 160 miles an hour down the road, hits a car, kills a girl and her dog. Now he's in prison. Threw his life away. And he had his future in front of him. I mean, like I said, these guys, these every draft player, UDFA, whatever, they got to have the heart. How much do they want this? I mean, I sit there and try to tell Zoe and Stacy, like, look what we did back in, when we got Brett Favre. Favre was a third-string, fourth-string quarterback at Atlanta. Hell, Jerry Glanville used to sit there and call him Mississippi. Ron Wolf went out and gave Atlanta a first-round pick for a third, fourth-string, quarterback. And look what happened. And Brett Favre wrote his name. I mean, the history is written. So, like any of these guys you guys got, you just don't know. I mean, I love the competition of football, and the Green Bay Packer and Minnesota Viking competition has always been big. Those games through the 90s and the 2000s, whenever, were epic. Now, Randy Moss beat the shit out of my high school when he was in high school at DuPont. He beat the living crap out of us. There was two kids in my school who were fast as hell, and Buck Neal and James Spriggs. They were sitting there talking shit, whatever. Randy Moss torched the living shit out of them. Like I said, I mean, I tell Sarah, Minnesota really ain't gonna be a team to mess with. If JJ can do his due diligence and if he gets protected, that's the thing. He has to be protected. And two, I want your guys' assessment on this. Do you guys think you guys be running the ball more with knowing that
Absolutely.
you guys may
better?
We have the best handoff quarterback in history, from what I've been told. And now we just built that line. We got two good running backs. Absolutely, we're going to run the ball, and that's only going to make our passing game that's much more dangerous. Like, we're going to be a complete offense this year as long as KOC allows it to be and doesn't go away from it. And I think there's an intent to do that. You agree with that, Rinaldi?
100%, man. They didn't go out and do what they did in free agency in this draft to not run the ball. I mean, look, is it going to be exactly 50-50? No. KOC is gonna have his pass plays. It's just going to be a better marriage. They're going to set it up a little bit better. I think it's going to be more balanced. But I also think that they're gonna be better in the red zone. Let's just be honest about that. That's where we sucked last year. If you look at the red zone numbers last year at just touchdowns, we were totally middle of the pack, like 16 or 17, 54%. The top 5 teams were all in the 60s and 70s. That's a huge difference, man. And it's all due to not being able to run the ball in short yardage situations. And I think we've solved that problem from two perspectives, not just one. We got a real short yardage type running back that can break tackles and run right into a line that weighs 220 pounds. And we put a real offensive line together that's going to take care of that. It's also going to make our defense better. If we can run the ball a little bit and hold on to some clock time and not score touchdowns in like 2 seconds, it's going to make our defense a little bit better too. So I love what they did with this team. And, draft or not, I think the draft is just a byproduct. It's just a piece of the season. To sit here and be negative about the team over the draft is shocking.
Hey, Steve,
I prepare to get shocked some more because I have an issue where, of course, our secondary is suspect at best, and our secondary was getting torched last year. I mean, Theo Jackson is a starting safety. Yeah. older Harrison Smith, who I still love and think he can play, but older. Cornerbacks who wide receivers were actually running all over the field on them last year. I mean, I hope Isaiah Rodgers is my new Jalen Redmond, Keith. I really do.
But what cornerbacks do we still have that were getting run over last year?
The one that we just paid $22 million.
So just buy a Murphy. It's not cornerbacks.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. So, and then we got one coming back from an injury. The thing is right now our suspect area is our entire secondary. So I think that we might be forced into a situation where McCarthy is going to have to put the team on his back and get into a shootout. Am I confident that he can? For some reason, I am. But I don't think we're going to be able to just control the clock on these guys. I think people are still going to be able to throw the ball on us.
Well, when you talk about the secondary, it's like with us. We had this whole offseason. This thing with Jair. What are we going to? We're going to trade him. We're going to release him. What are we going to do? Okay. Now, we didn't draft a secondary guy at corner until the 7th round. The guy from Tulane, Michael Robinson. Everybody in the first was hoping that we would get Will Johnson or one of those top corners that was there.
Not us.
And so, but look, it was the 7th round. And then I went and watch some video and some film on this guy because I never heard of Michael Robinson. And from what I saw, I was like, you know what? Okay, this boy can play. You know what? Let's give this guy a chance because you never know. You just don't know. I mean, I love what we did in the draft. Key players, whatever. Now let's see what kind of heart they have. Let's see what they can do if they want to make this team and whatever and so forth. I mean, if you think about it, a couple years ago, we drafted Eric Stokes, 1st-round pick from Georgia. Now, where's he at? Over in Las Vegas. And look, it was kind of like we did a trade with him because we got Nate Hobbs from Las Vegas. And
hey, Steve, let me ask you something.
Wasn't a 1st-round pick.
Steve, let me ask you something. How would you feel if Jair Alexander became a Minnesota Viking this offseason?
I wouldn't care. Hell, Brett Favre did it.
See?
Greg Jennings did it.
But I mean, like, not your feelings, but like, would you be worried about him?
No. Nope. I mean,
because we're not worried about him.
I'm not going to take nothing away from Jair or any player. I don't do that. But the thing is, when you go out on the field and you got a guy like one of the top, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to. If you're going to get smacked in the mouth, you got to learn to smack that guy back in the mouth. That's the way I taught. Because when I sit there and I did that, okay, you know what? This guy's top. You know what? I'm going to be just as top as him. Okay, let's go, buddy. Let's go. It's on ese vato. Orale. Come on. It's just like that. That's the way you have to look at it. You got to have the heart. You got to have that full. Let's go, because that's why I saw in a lot of the Viking Packer games over the years. Like, look at I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't know. Did you guys see the Brett Favre and John Randall scuffle? I mean, those guys loved each other, but man, did they clash heads.
I saw John Randall put a Brett Favre jersey on a chicken and chase it around in the commercial.
Pretty sure he ate that chicken too.
He did. He grilled it. They definitely had their love-hate respect thing. So I mean that's cool to have within the division. Some people in this chat are mad that we're playing friends right now and not at each other's throats. But when the season gets going, I'm sure it'll be different. But it's cool to get a different perspective from other fans, in my opinion, on our team, because I don't want to hear what Viking fans have to say about Vikings all the time. I want to hear what someone who's not a fan has to say about our team.
I'm a realist, and I love football. It's my life. It's my sport. Like I said, I'm a big card collector and stuff like that. That's my hobby, and so forth. And I enjoy going on other podcasts and talking football. Like, heck, I go on Dolphins podcast, talk with them. I go on so many other ones to talk with them. It's football. This is the fun. Getting with guys and talking football, you could talk a little trash, talk a little shit here.
Yeah.
But be respectful.
All right, I'm about to ask a question that's going to change.
Wait, Fish. Let me address Jason because he just asked this. And I'm not going to ask the question. I just want to make a statement that Jason, that is one of my top 5 favorite Viking plays of all time. Like, we still lost that damn game, but when he popped him, like I was younger, just never seen a guy get hit like that, and I started looking for that highlight like 10 years ago. I could never find that highlight until recently, and now I have it. I don't have it available here, but I got it somewhere stashed away. That is one of my top 5 plays as a Viking fan. That was
so Steve.
Crazy.
I might be about to change the complexion of this conversation.
Uh-oh.
How do you think the 4 teams in the NFC North are going to finish in the division?
That's a good question. Well, because now, like I listen, like I said, I go into many other podcasts and listen. Now I keep saying the Lions are going to finish 8 and 9.
Wow.
I say the Lions. Well, you got to look at this. Out of the 4 teams, the Packers basically are the only team who hasn't had any kind of change. Because the Vikings, they're riding on J.J. McCarthy, who hasn't played yet. That's the only downfall they have there so far. That's it. If that boy can play, the Vikings have the team. Chicago has, well, now they got Ben Johnson. They got a whole new coaching staff. They got to put this together now. I mean, can they do it? The whole new chemistry, the whole new production. The Lions, I can see taking a step back because this is going to be the thing is, without Ben Johnson, is Dan the Diva Campbell going to be able to do it? Is he going to be crying most of the time, after the game because he ain't got Ben Johnson to save his ass and everything? Can this new OC do it? So there's going to be probably a lot of hype there in Detroit now for the fact that Ben Johnson is gone. Now everything's going to fall on Dan the Diva Campbell. So how this is going to finish out, I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know if I really can answer because this division is probably the best division now in the NFL, the toughest as whatever, because I think every team in this division can compete with each other.
Hey, Steve, I've been dying to ask you this question.
All right.
What is your favorite Vikings jersey that you have in your closet right now?
Well, the one I usually wipe my ass with, or wash my car with.
Go ahead and say it's Favre.
Nah, you won't see no Vikings thing in my house. I'll tell you that right now. I just have the love and respect. Like I said,
are you watching this podcast in your house right now?
We're in there right now, baby.
We're in your house right now.
Hey, I come on your podcast almost every time I get a chance. You guys are fun to listen to.
Just say we're in your house right now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I go on a bunch of Lions podcasts and I go on a bunch of Bears podcasts as well. Because it's just fun. It's just fun as hell.
I mean, that Woodward Sports, he's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude's all fire and brimstone.
Is that your idol, Fish?
No. Tom Grossi's my idol.
There you go.
What do you guys think of the Packers draft? Be honest.
I love Matthew Golden. I think you guys did solid right there. And honestly, because this draft class wasn't as good as it should be, I think you guys got a solid set of wide receiver 2s over there. I think they're just every single one of them. And it's not bad. Sometimes it takes about 3 to 4 wide receiver 2s to make a wide receiver 1. So I think you guys did well.
They got Savion Williams too.
Hey, Steve, let me be straight up and honest with you. The first round, I got drunk. And then after the first round, I was so pissed I wasn't paying attention to much of anything.
Why'd you get drunk?
Like our second round pick was an offensive tackle from North Carolina State, which was shocking because everybody thought it was going to be a corner or maybe an edge rusher or a defensive tackle. When we took Anthony Belton from North NC State, wow. To me, I was like, hey, that's just more because one, we don't know if Rashawn Walker's going to be back next year, if we're going to bring him back or not. And like I said, it's just another depth piece that we need.
Were you punching? Do you think Aaron Rodgers was punching air after you guys finally drafted a wide receiver in the first round?
I was wondering what was going through his mind when that happened, like how many F-bombs he was dropping. And then does he really is he like saying, I really want to play for the Vikings now. I want to pay them back.
He was probably texting Quasi, come on, man.
I mean, he hasn't signed with Pittsburgh yet. Timmy, what's up, man?
What's up, Timmy?
What's up, fellas?
Hey. What's up, fellas? What's going on, Timmy?
Not much. Just liking the draft a little bit, a little crazy,
Oh, God.
Man, he looks like
hold on. Let's give Timmy a minute here. Timmy, what did you like about the draft and what didn't you like about the draft?
Oh, we should have picked a couple of better other guys than what we picked in the later rounds.
What did you like?
We picked up a guard that we needed. So Quasi was trying to save his job. So he was trying to save.
You were happy with the first pick. Hey, Robbie, the link's been up there, my man. You can swear to all you want.
We're gonna
do that, Robbie. We don't want that.
JJ just had did a conference deal a couple days ago, and he said he's 110%. He's ready to go. So.
Hey, Timmy, has anybody ever told you look like Mike Singletary?
Hold on. He does look like Mike Singletary. I don't think there's a single person that's a Viking fan, diehard, really business team that is not excited for JJ McCarthy. You have to be a pretty shitty Viking fan to not be excited about JJ McCarthy.
Robbie?
You have to be a real loser in life to not be excited about JJ McCarthy.
Like how O'Neal said it's a business and his job's always on the line, so he could be replaced at any time. So I like how O'Neal said it.
He understands.
Is there a weak link on this offensive line that you guys can say?
Yeah.
Fish?
Yeah, our first round draft pick.
That's not where I was expecting you to go.
I mean, that's not bad. I would take that.
It would have to be. It would have to be him or Ryan Kelly.
No, I look, when healthy, great. Problem is the healthy part. If all things being equal, our projected 5 starters on our offensive line, who would I think would be the best?
Brian O'Neal.
I would say at this point, Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Is Brad?
That might be the nicest thing you said about our guard, Jackson. That might be the nicest thing you ever said about him.
I said he's a good football player. I mean, I just don't think he's that big of an upgrade to warrant a first-round pick.
You want me to tell you the sleeper receiver you guys got that's going to make noise for you guys?
If you say Ty Felton, I'm jumping through this monitor.
Don't say Rondale Moore, huh?
Yep, Rondale Moore.
I'm going to say Rondale, too. I like Rondale Moore so much.
I like Rondale, but I have a feeling that with drafting Ty Moore, Rondale's spot's not exactly guaranteed on this roster.
Felton. I got to correct the last name on Keith like he got me in the comments the other day. Ty Felton, Keith, not Ty Moore. And when I said Rondale White, you corrected me.
No, I said Ty Felton. I said Rondale Moore's spot's not guaranteed.
Roll the tape. You said Ty Moore.
Nah, I don't see Ty Felton out. I don't see Ty Felton beating out Rondale Moore. No.
Oh, I do. That's why they drafted him. They drafted him to beat him out.
Rondale may not be healthy.
No.
He might not be healthy.
It's called competition. It's like we got Golden and Williams, all right? Now, there's a big question. Who's going to be gone as a Packers receiver is going to be off the team? Now, I saw somewhere today there's talk that we might be trading Romeo Doubs. That we're going to be trading him. Now, everybody think Watson should be let go. Like there's a Packer fan named Nick. He thinks Watson should be gone. Dude, I think you went skydiving off of a curb, or something, I mean, just.
You like curbs.
You know, I'm just saying this dude's stuck on stupid.
All right, what's Viking related though?
All right, I said Ty Moore. But at least when you type it, you have a chance to erase your mistake.
Nah, man, when I put something out in the ether typing it, it's out there forever and I live with it.
Disagree.
And with Ty Felton, it's called Addison missing 3 games this year. You need to find somewhat of a replacement.
But why? If Rondell Moore is that guy that's better than Felton, why?
Yeah, I feel the same where he's still going to crack the field.
You're going to need more than Rondell Moore and Jaden Reed or Jalen Naylor. Sorry, I said Jaden Reed because the Packers dude's on here. You're going to need more than Rondell Moore and Jalen Naylor.
Oh, so what you're saying is that when Addison's gone, Ty Felton will finally be our wide receiver 3. But once Addison comes back, he'll go back to the practice squad.
Well, it depends on.
Good talk, Coach.
There's your shot right there, Ty Felton. You want to be wide receiver 3 when Addison's gone. Show us what you got. If you show more production than Jalen,
I don't even think Moore makes it to 53.
He might not.
This is a little bit of naivety about his health. In order to get signed, doesn't he have to have some sort of physical?
I mean, didn't Cam Akers?
Not if you know he's hurt. Like you know what you're signing. You know what you're getting into.
Van Ginkel had a foot last year. He didn't.
What do you guys think about Tim Jones? He's a wide receiver.
Who?
Is he though?
Tim Jones.
Is he though?
Yeah, he's on a team. Yeah, he's on.
He's a special teamer. He's a special teamer.
We got to have enough players for preseason, my guy. We have to make 90.
We don't think much of Tim Jones. I don't think he's.
Yeah, but see, Ty Felton's not going to play in preseason because starters don't play in preseason.
Jesus Christ. Ty Felton's.
Wait, are we going to get into this already? Are we going to get into the starters and preseason talk already?
Ty Felton's.
I just Ty Felton's not going to play. We're not going to see him in preseason, right, Dave?
Probably not.
We'll see how Ty Felton does during his interview when Addison's gone for 3 games.
What do you think about Lucky Jackson that's on the 3rd team?
Pass.
He'll be on the practice squad.
Wait, Cody. Ty Felton's going to be on the practice squad?
No, Lucky Jackson. I was answering steady.
Oh, boy.
No, Ty Felton.
I think he said it right the first time.
Ty
We're about to have a conversation.
Ty Felton's interview for wide receiver 3 is week 1 through week 3. Like, if he can produce, I bet he takes over Jalen Naylor's role.
Mm-hmm. Jason, the reason I'm so sarcastic is because I got it all out of my system. So now I'm just having fun.
Did you get it out of your system, though?
The anger, yeah.
For the night?
The anger, yeah. Now I'm just having fun.
No reason.
There's a prediction.
That's pretty cool.
Coming in hot, Clinton.
I do like how we addressed the offensive line, especially the guard position this year, going after Will Fries, who mainly played right tackle in college, and then we went after Donovan Jackson, who was also a tackle and / guard in college. Like, we want to be bigger at that guard position.
And versatile.
Cody, tell them Super Bowl aspirations.
No, curb your enthusiasm.
I don't have it.
Not yet. My window is still a little bit like 3 years from now. So,
well, you get like an 8-year window. What? It was like, if not this year, next year. But if not that year, then the next year.
No, 5 to 8 years, y'all.
5 to 8 years, and we're going to hit 5 years and 3 years from now. So I'm good with it.
I'm disappointed Robbie didn't get on with us tonight.
He doesn't have the nads.
I'm not disappointed at all.
He's trying to sell a useless treadmill he found in a storage locker to somebody.
He's soft.
I still stand by it. I still feel like we're going to win this division.
I think so. I think the Lions,
which is weird. Like Fish is like having an internal struggle with this team right now. I think. I really do. Like he wants to hate everything we've done, but he also thinks we're still going to come out on top and win the Super Bowl.
Shit, no, Fish can't say that. No, because you said 7.
He didn't say Super Bowl, but he said what 11 to 12 wins.
Yeah,
11 to 12 wins in the division,
and we doubled it. And you can't double 11.
Okay,
wins.
so we're going to win 20 or 22 games this year.
Yeah, we can't double it.
No, I mean,
yeah, we can.
That's like in Super Bowl.
Yeah, we can.
If we go 17-0.
Well, no,
we can't. We can't.
Yeah, we
well, if we win all our preseason games too.
No, if we go 17-0, and then we win the divisional, the championship, and the Super Bowl, it's 20-0. There we go.
Only 20. So you gotta say 10 wins.
Oh yeah.
Man, are you guys them guys that stuck on winning the division?
Nope.
Fuck the division. I want a Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck about winning.
come on.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not stuck on it. As a matter of fact, last year I thought we were a 7-win team. It's just I think we are going to win the division this year.
Making the big playoffs, and then we can go from there.
It's like these damn Lion fans that we got to hear, no, or division champs back to back. I'm like, big freaking effing deal.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? We won the division more times than you guys lost games. And
Look,
the thing
Steve,
is, you know what?
This is my thoughts on the Lions right now. Their franchise is experiencing what our franchise experienced between 98 and 2000. It was an exciting time. It created a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm.
It made fans for life. People look back to that time, and there's going to be a lot of fans that just got created that are going to look back to 2023 and 24.
Yep.
And 15 years from now, when they still haven't won a Super Bowl, they're going to be going, but back then we should have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's us.
Well, you know, like our last Super Bowl win, we was a 6-seeded team, and the Bears won the division.
The popular girl took out the ugly kid to prom, and they blew their shot.
Yep.
In their pants.
Yeah. I like how
Leonard says, hey, look at Lenny's prediction. He says that the Vikings will run the ball more than any other NFC North team this year.
I like it.
I like it, but I find it hard to believe when you got, the two running backs in Detroit.
Yeah, even the Bears are going to run the ball a lot more this year too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, didn't the Bears get somebody pretty good too?
Yeah, what they get, their coach is all about it, right?
I love it, Lenny, because I don't have to say run the fucking football ever again.
I got a feeling you're still going to have to say it.
Ben Johnson doesn't like DeAndre Swift.
You don't?
Nope. No, he doesn't. Because when he was in Detroit,
I can't wait till McCarthy throws for 4,000 yards.
I like how he brings that up. That was like 4 hours. Oh shit! That's so gold.
What's wrong, Fish?
He can't stop it.
I'm just mad because my submission was ignored.
Yeah, it wasn't worth the Kirby enthusiasm.
Yeah.
For those who don't know,
I had some undertones.
Yeah, I made a meme of what's his name, Edward Norton's character from American History X, saying curb your expectations. Yeah, it didn't make the cut.
Just reporting to HR, Fish.
I am your HRB.
Well, your salary should be doubled or tripled.
Everybody, let's go. We're all getting raises.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump into these hot takes.
Yeah.
It got crazy. Let's jump into these hot takes. Who's ready to go first? Oh, you guys like, oh shit, we do hot takes every week. Oh, damn.
When you played that at Kirby
Well, it's before 100 o'clock at night, so I'm not ready. We've been kind of going late lately. Okay. All right, I'll go first.
All right, let's go ahead and get these hot takes. Michael Fish, what do you got?
Three of our new UDFAs are going to make the 53-man roster.
I can't believe you just said that. That was literally mine. So now we got to talk for another hour while I think of another one. That was literally mine.
I just came up with it. Yoink!
Oh. I'm so mad right now. I was going to say at least 3 of the UDFAs make the 53-man. You just pissed me off. Me off. All right, go, Cody.
Someone said in the chat something about Kwesi will not be our GM next year. I'm going to say this as a hot take. Kwesi, and I've been critical about him, Kwesi will be extended before mandatory training camp.
That works for me.
I think Shaq's got something similar on the board, and Ronaldo's got something going against that. Do I do it? Do
you do it? Do it.
No, because it's in the same ballpark, but it's a lot hotter and a lot less likely to happen.
Well, that's what makes it hotter.
It does. All right. Fuck it. I mean, I'm right so many times I could be wrong once. It's fine. All right. And this is those ones where I fuck it up and I got to do it 3 times. But we will have more UDFAs make the 53-man than we have draft picks make it.
What?
Oh, don't do that one.
What do we got? 19 versus 4? I think we can do that.
5. 5.
We might not have any draft picks make it.
So 2 of them don't make it and 4 UDFAs make it? Fucking asshole.
Good recovery, Keith. I give you an A.
Where did Cody go? I mean, the backwards sick, but clip. Then we're gonna have a Packer fucking thing in our clip.
Yeah.
Just put Robbie's face over it.
You're right, because I'll just put a clown face over it, and you're right. I'll just put Robbie's face.
No, graphics are easy.
Graphics are easy, man. Whatever you want, guys, I can do it. All right, what do you got, Rinaldi?
Really simple. JJ McCarthy makes the Pro Bowl.
Hey,
I like it.
All right, Shaq.
The Vikings will score 3 special teams touchdowns next year.
When's the last one that they had?
Not last year.
Kenny
Kenny
Wangu, then we got rid of him like he was nothing, like he don't matter.
Didn't we block a punt for 1-2 years ago?
Clinton, I like yours. Top 3 offense and defense. I like it. I think it's possible.
I don't remember blocking a punt for touchdown. Steve, you got a hot take? It's not gonna make a clip.
What's that?
You got a hot take on this upcoming season?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Our run game is going to be much, much better with our new offensive line. We're going to be running the ball a lot more. Like I said, and with what no one's going to know what the Packers are going to be bringing.
Can you quantify that with some numbers?
Yeah, I was just going to say, can you quantify that a little bit? We're going to run.
Now you know how I feel. Now you guys know how I feel. You guys are giving these takes.
No. Like I said, ain't be no numbers. I'm just telling you right now.
You'll know it when you see it.
You're going to see a better run game this year. You're going to see a new offensive line that's going to be better than what we had last year. And like I said, and what you're not going to see is nobody's going to know what the Packers are bringing.
Why I would hope it's an air mattress or something when you're in the basement.
Hey, Shaq, bro, I'm going to remember you said that.
It wasn't Shaq.
Cody, baby.
You look like married.
It was his brother from another mother.
You guys, why does Robbie hate JJ McCarthy so much?
Something to do with
it could start from college. I don't know if they ever played each other back in college, but I don't know.
Steve, something you need to understand is just a couple of weeks ago, Shaq and Cody went through a nasty separation and divorce over a mock draft.
We're talking now.
There might be a reconciliation in the near future, but
well, you know what? This thing
kids.
with Sam Howell, don't knock because you don't know. He could be the starter. Ooh. Nobody knows what McCarthy's bringing. He could be a top perennial quarterback. Then again, maybe not. Hey, that's funny, Keith. You looking like that, but you never know, man. You just don't know. I'm not knocking McCarthy.
I kind of have a feeling I know because Sam Howell's quarterback class is a little bit weaker than what JJ McCarthy's quarterback class was, and JJ McCarthy made it in the first round. So,
what's that mean?
That he's a first round talent, not unlike Sam Howell, who in a weak quarterback class didn't really make it in the first round.
See, okay, time out. There's where you guys fail. You look at that all the wrong way on first round. Who went first? Who went what round? No. Doesn't work that way.
No,
it just does not work that way.
Talent level wise, he's first round quarterback. Sam Howell is not a first round. It's like this year's draft class. Shedeur Sanders, first round quarterback. No, I had him third and beyond. And he went kind of where I thought he would. I didn't think Jackson Dart was first round quarterback, so I thought that was kind of a reach.
Well, there was this talk this morning about no, it was Zoe, the big, he's a Viking fan. And he was sitting there saying how the Steelers took Will Howard from Ohio State. And why didn't they take Shedeur Sanders? Well, one, is Shedeur Sanders basically a better quarterback than Will Howard? Yeah. The thing is, Shedeur Sanders ain't playing for the Buckeyes. The Colorado Buffaloes is not the Ohio State Buckeyes. He wasn't surrounded by the talent that Will Howard was surrounded by.
He wasn't playing against it either.
Yeah.
Now you're speaking Robbie's language.
Okay, well, but it's the truth. Like last year in the draft, or whatever it was, I took a lot of heat because I said that Spencer Rattler was the best quarterback in the draft.
Oof.
And I still believe it.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Who did Shedeur Sanders? What conference Shedeur Sanders playing? I'm going to settle this difference right now on why Dylan Gabriel went above Shedeur Sanders, because Dylan Gabriel played one hell of a Penn State defense. I think twice. And Penn State defense beat him twice.
The knock on Shedeur and all that, a lot of it came down because of who his father is. A lot of people do not want to deal with this Deion Sanders prime time BS. That right there is a problem. That could be a problem. Media hype, all this, whatever. It's just like Eli Manning back in the day when he got drafted by the Chargers. Daddy, I don't want to play in San Diego. Whatever. What happened? The cry, this and that. And that. He goes, and why? He wanted to go to the Giants. Why? Because their colors resembled Ole Miss's colors. He was homesick. I mean, the same thing back. I don't know if you guys remember this. Back in '83, whenever it was, when Elway got drafted by the Colts, he didn't want to play for the Colts. He didn't. He was going to
play baseball.
Yeah. Manning did the same thing.
Yeah. See, there's all this talk on, whatever. Like, to me, I feel if Spencer Rattler, you put him with – now, if like, to me, like Sarah asked me, if Spencer Rattler was on the Vikings team, I said, I think he'd excel. With that offense that's around him, Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, you put that with Spencer Rattler, I think Spencer Rattler would excel.
I think
the boy's got a cannon.
Ball as a quarterback. So what is your hot take? That's where we're trying to get to.
On what's that again?
What is your hot take?
I think he said the hot take was that the Packers' run game is going to be better than last year.
Well, yeah. So give us some numbers on that.
David, have you done your hot take yet? If not, we got to wait for Keith to come back.
I did.
Okay.
We all did.
Oh, I think Jacobs, and then there's another boy I'm waiting to see what he does. Is Marshawn Lloyd.
How many yards?
Wait, who's Marshawn Lloyd?
You're going to find out.
You'll
find out.
You know who he is.
Well, we were kind of hoping you would tell us so we could find out.
No. You'll find out when the season starts who Marshawn Lloyd is.
What school he went to?
USC.
It's kind of small.
Oh, okay. That explains why Shaq's asking.
Oh, okay.
All right, give me some quantifiable numbers here. Josh Jacobs ran for how many yards last year? 1,300. How many yards does he rush for this year? What makes it a better run game?
15 to 17.
15 to 17. So he'd be what, second or third in rushing yards from what happened this year?
Nah. And I say he would have 10 or more touchdowns.
Sheesh. That's some good stats right there.
Mm-hmm. That's a winning season for the Packers if they can get Josh. I mean, Josh Jacobs can do that. I believe in Josh Jacobs.
Well, I think our O-line got better. I mean, it's good right now on paper. One, Josh Meyer, the center's gone, which I'm so damn well that happened. Elton Jenkins moved over to center. Aaron Banks is going to be playing left guard. So our offensive line right now is much, much bigger and better than what it was last year.
I don't really think offensive line was your problem. I think the fact that y'all got Jordan Love thrown to a bunch of backup receivers was the problem.
And I honestly think the Vikings retaliated towards
Look,
the Bears and the Packers did to their offensive line.
I will say this.
On defensive line, because our defensive line was pretty good last year.
Reed and Wicks and Watson and a lot of guys, they had a lot of drop passes.
Yeah.
That was in their hands. Now, you can't blame that on Love.
I know. I blame it on the receivers.
No, that's why he said he was throwing to a bunch of backup receivers.
Well, hey, it happens. It happens. I don't care who you are, what receiver you are. Hey, this year, JJ can sit there, might be dropping. Like I said, it would have been funny if you guys would have got Aaron Rodgers, or if you still get him somehow. If JJ would drop one pass, if he would drop one pass that Aaron, he could be wide open, JJ probably wouldn't see a pass again for I don't know how many downs. That's who Aaron Rodgers is. You drop one pass wide open, when you go back to the huddle, get ready to get a dirty look. He's going to say something to you, and then you won't see a pass for a while. That's who Aaron Rodgers is. That's why when he left Green Bay, I was, thank God.
All right.
I think everybody also likes McCarthy because everybody says he looks like Hayden Christensen.
Ooh.
And they think he's a Jedi Master or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he was more Sith, but yeah. He was never technically a master. He was never given the title, even though he was put on the council. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Well, I like JJ McCarthy because he's more of a spiritual guy and he cares about the mental side of being a human.
Now, Shaq, be real. You like JJ McCarthy. Everybody likes JJ McCarthy because he won a national championship with the damn Michigan Wolverines. That's what it is.
I liked him before he won a national championship, though. Like, before he won the national championship, I called it out and said that's going to be the Vikings quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean that helped solidify it. And him being a good person, that's just kind of extra. Like, if he was just a dog, it was a bad person, I'd be okay with it.
I'm going to throw this out there. This is way far-fetched. I'm going to throw this out there. Do you guys believe that JJ can or will be the next Tom Brady?
No.
I don't think that I don't think that has to be the bar. I do think that JJ McCarthy can be the quarterback that leads us to our first Super Bowl title. I don't need him to be Tom Brady.
I'll put it in as Drew Brees.
Brady was from Michigan.
Yeah, so
right, but I don't need him to be Tom Brady. I don't need that.
For one,
but
he's already demonstrated he's more mobile.
He gets the first statue outside of the damn stadium. because he leads us to our first Super Bowl. Like, I believe he could be that guy. I don't need him to win us Super Bowls.
Is there a quarterback comparison that you can compare J.J. McCarthy to?
I just
Joe
did.
Burrow.
Drew Brees.
Joe Burrow.
I like the Joe Burrow comparison.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I like that one.
Who said Joe Burrow? Who said that?
Shaq did.
The reason I say that is because they're both athletic. They're not going to outrun you, but they will move around in the pocket, and then they're going to launch the ball with good decision making, get into the weapons at early convenience.
Well, see, that's kind of funny. You're putting. I mean, I ain't going to knock because I don't know, but to me, in the AFC, to me, I think Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the AFC.
Bam.
Yeah.
He's also got the best wide receivers in the AFC.
Well, yeah, but
Matter of fact, he didn't win anything when he didn't have Chase, right? Didn't he have like a 3-win season or something without Chase?
Yeah, he won a national championship with Chase and Justin Jefferson.
And
I got JJ McCarthy's floor as Zach Wilson and his ceiling as prime MVP caliber Russell.
Man, can you imagine that this year? The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Minnesota Vikings.
In his MVP caliber years. Like when Russell Wilson is always getting voted top 5 MVP. He was in the conversation every single year. That's where I think JJ McCarthy.
That's fair. I don't like the Zach Wilson comparison.
That's the floor.
It's too low.
Still don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, that's a pretty low floor. And I think from what I've seen from 2 quarters of preseason football against the Las Vegas Raiders, he ain't no Zach Wilson.
No, he's not no Zach Wilson.
To be fair, that was on the Jets.
Yes.
When has a Jets quarterback ever gone to another team and been a lot better, Shaq?
Shit. You got time? How much time we got left?
Brett Favre?
Brett Favre?
He was injured.
Where would you label JJ McCarthy right now, without starting a single fucking game in the NFL regular season in the rankings of top Minnesota Vikings quarterbacks?
Unknown.
But where would you actually put him in there for? Like the hype is real, right? We're all hyped up about him.
I can't.
I don't want to do. I don't want to do this.
Where he hasn't played a meaningful snap.
Like I could do this, but I don't want to do this.
Would you put him up with Kirk Cousins right now?
I tell you what, Cody, let him play one. Let him play one series, and then I'll answer your question.
Yeah. I mean, he could be the top 5. He hasn't even took a snap yet, and could be top 5 Vikings quarterback of all time. That's how many.
Well.
Not good quarterback.
Because right now I think number 5 is Case Keenum, so I'm not putting him above him yet.
What? I need to hear that.
I'm not putting him
Case Keenum number 5.
I'm just saying I'm not putting him above Case Keenum just yet.
There go Warriors is already saying top 5. Kid hasn't even taken a snap. That's how much hype and belief that we have in JJ McCarthy as a fan base, and I'm here for it.
And people go ahead and say, "Oh, Christian Ponder."
Are
not
you
a
talking
single
about all-time Viking quarterbacks?
Me too.
Not a single soul believed in Christian Ponder. So, like, it's not the same thing. Like, there was no point where we believed in Christian Ponder was gonna lead us anywhere.
Because right now, Tommy Kramer
Shaq did.
In the top 5, right? Like Tommy Kramer would be top 5 if you think about it. But I mean, but that's just because of the amount of quarterbacks we've had.
Yeah.
Right.
Cody, you're ruining the segment here. We can make the segment.
Yeah, we could.
Cody ruins everything. Cody ruins in 60 seconds.
All right, Steve, you got any final words for us?
Down to 60 seconds.
Steve, you got any final words?
I think Steve went to sleep.
Go, Pack, go.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Can you give us a let's go? Oh, he's gone.
No. He made that easy.
Yeah.
Only Keith can say that.
Whoa. Shut the fuck up, Shaq.
Bo Nix.
I just don't think Bo Nix is as fast as J Mac.
Look. I'm gonna ask everybody on this panel right now. If you could trade JJ McCarthy unknown, we know nothing about JJ McCarthy for Bo Nix right now, would you do it?
No.
No.
Tommy, would you do it? Chat. Oh, this motherfucker. This fucking dumb fuck motherfucker. Would you do it?
Uh-oh.
Would you do it? Robbie, would you trade JJ McCarthy for Bo Nix right now? You have it at a weird angle.
See, I know nothing about the kid. I know a lot about Bo Nix. I know nothing about the kid. I know a lot about Bo Nix. Absolutely.
But you watch college football, so you should know a lot about him, actually.
Yeah, Bo Nix played for like 12 years. He was daddy's.
No, I'm saying JJ McCarthy. He should know a lot about JJ McCarthy because he watches college football more than anybody in the world. So he should actually know a lot about him.
Keith, how many linemen did last 2 years were drafted from Michigan? How many linemen? Offensive linemen. Just offensive linemen.
Like
just ballpark.
6?
Not even close.
Offensive linemen?
Offensive linemen. Last 2 years from Michigan. 10.
In what rounds?
10.
What rounds?
That start 10.
Okay.
My point being is that's how.
And how many went from Alabama that lost to that team?
That's how. Hold on. Let's think. No, we're talking about JJ McCarthy. Stop switching gears.
We are. And I'm arguing for JJ McCarthy.
I like Robbie's
for him.
That's how good that Michigan line was.
I like Robbie's argument here.
Like,
so do I.
Their starters were good, and their bench was that good. That's how good that kid
You're
had
right,
around
Cody.
him.
You're right, Cody.
Guess what our line looks like?
Was that good? I'm just saying.
Guess what our line looks like? What did we do with our line? Robbie, answer me. You don't look down like a. Come on, answer me. What does our line look like?
You guys are so silly.
What do you mean?
Robbie wants to smoke till he sees the fire.
You guys are so silly.
What
Hey,
does our
deflection-
line look like?
deflection
Don't be
when
like
it's
a girl. Come on, don't be weak.
Anyway, so I was saying, so McCarthy in Michigan surrounded himself with
Weak.
such a good offensive
Weak.
line
You're
that
weak.
all of them were
You're weak.
drafted,
You're
and
weak.
those on his
You're
bench.
weak as
were
gerbil piss.
That is why he was so good, is that his line was so good, and he was able to handle the ball.
He's been good his whole life. So did he have that
He has
top
not
offensive
been
line in
good
high
his whole
school
He
and
has
YFL
he's
and everywhere
never
else that he won?
been
Look
knocked
at our line
down.
now.
He has never had to get the fuck up because he's never been knocked down because his lines have always been so damn good.
Yeah, what's gonna
That's
happen?
why the coaches. That's why the coaches are so scared right now. That's why they're building a line.
Yeah, terrible idea.
That's why we did not
Terrible
draft.
idea. He won a national championship.
Oh,
with a great
David,
line.
I'm excited. I'm excited, David. No, seriously, guys.
It makes no sense now. Like you went.
To answer your question, Keith, I would take Nix for what I know about Nix and the little I know about McCarthy, which is nothing because he has no stats. And again, Michigan's line was probably the best in college history.
So JJ McCarthy only had one good year in his whole career of playing football.
No, he had,
No
he
way.
had 2 very good years.
Hey, wait a minute.
I am talking about his line. I am talking about the lines that he had gave him such great opportunities. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. I'm gonna do a comparison here real quick. All right, JJ McCarthy had the best offensive line ever in college football history, and we were just talking about Joe Burrow being the best quarterback, right? What has Joe Burrow had in college? Could have been named the best wide receiver core in NCAA history. What do the Bengals?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Bengals have right now.
Well, then you'd be dumb.
No, Keith, you would be dumb to say that.
No, you would be.
They have only one natty with the 2 best receivers in college football history. No, they're not by a mile.
Hey, Robbie.
How long did Joe Burrow play there?
How
long did Joe Burrow play there?
Robbie, just for the deal readers, are you basically saying that our line right now isn't that good?
I think it developed well in the offseason. I'm not happy with our draft pick in the first round because of that. I thought we did well enough in the offseason where we didn't need to draft a lineman in the first round.
Okay. Well, because my point, the reason I'm asking this is because the guys were trying to press saying, okay, well, we just surrounded him with a great offensive line again at this level. So I thought you were trying to say that the offensive line isn't as good as we're making it out to be.
No, I'm trying to say it's better than it needs to be. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so then he's set up for success again.
Exactly.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's too good. It's like it needs to be this good for him to be this good.
Yeah, we need a less good line.
Because that's He's used to having nines.
Be that
he can't
good.
function. He can't scramble. He can't. He's
you know
not used to having six.
Less good wide receivers too. How about we get less good wide receivers? That'll make us better too.
We don't
no, that's what I'm saying. He's used to having purely the best. He cannot. Here's what I'm trying to say. He cannot rise to the occasion of being around subpar players. He has to be the mediocre one around better players. Is what I'm trying to say. You got that one, David? Are you excited for that? I bet you are.
Don't tell me what I'm excited for. I'm excited.
Did you write that down? Read that off a list.
That's what I'm
Joe
excited
Burrow,
for.
Joe Burrow is a mediocre quarterback without his.
Be a sore winner. You'd be better than that.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow is a mediocre quarterback without his wide receivers.
Oh, I would not.
It's the same thing as J.J. McCarthy being mediocre without his fucking offensive line. Because Joe Burrow has had
I don't get that one.
His whole entire career. He's had it through college and he's had it through the NFL. He was dog shit his rookie year because he didn't have Jamar.
Why are we comparing? What's with the Joe Burrow thing? Does he owe people
No,
money?
I'm trying to place this with the J.J. McCarthy offensive line thing.
That's a weird correlation.
It's not a weird correlation. J.J. McCarthy.
Not weird correlation.
I don't understand why we're pulling Joe Burrow all of a sudden. This is like
because we're trying to make the comparison.
But why him all of a sudden? Does they have why not pull Josh Allen or Mahomes or Hurts? Just why was I'm saying why Joe Burrow? Is he just like
Joe Burrow? If Joe Burrow is mediocre, Joe Burrow is mediocre without wide receivers.
Oh, I would not agree with that. His numbers last year were MVP quality.
He had wide receivers.
Other quarterbacks.
He had wide receivers.
He had a 3-win season. Wasn't he like 3 wins without Jamar Chase?
Mm-hmm.
Like his rookie season, he was absolute ass. They lost like almost every game, but then they drafted Jamar Chase, and all of a sudden they went to the Super Bowl.
Well, he got hurt his rookie season.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah,
but they were 1-2 at the time.
Burrow's a good quarterback. I would take him in a heartbeat. So you guys are saying all five of you saying you would rather have McCarthy than Burrow?
No.
Well, then it's not us. So can we move on from the Burrow conversation?
No, we were
He's
talking
quarterback.
He's not.
No, we're going with your idea of J.J. McCarthy being ass because he had an offensive line. He had an offensive line from college.
Stop.
Now he's got an offensive line.
I have never said
that. Got you, Robbie. Sorry.
No, I have never said that. I have never said he's bad. I have never said that.
We replay.
When you say he needs to have an elite offensive line just to be mediocre.
Yes, I've never. Right, that's average. I have never said he's bad. I have never said. I have always remained neutral. All of my comments
that if he didn't have the offensive line, he would be. I mean, if you're saying offensive line to be here,
right?
Well, then he
raise
doesn't
him
have
up. Right. He has
to
raise him up. He's average.
So take away Joe Burrow's wide receivers. Is Joe Burrow average?
Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. His receivers make him a great quarterback.
Take away his wide receivers. Is he?
He's still good.
McCarthy's off the line. He's
Joe Burrow's still good. No, Joe Burrow's still a good quarterback, even without those great receivers.
How would you know? You've never seen him without great receivers.
There we go.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah, we saw him run away. We saw him run away from Ohio.
Kidding me.
We saw him run away from Ohio.
Yeah, we have seen it. Joe Burrow was
3-15.
He had to go run the talent. So
there we go.
Oh well.
Put this thing on a plane.
As for why I wouldn't compare him to Josh Allen, it's just too much of a difference in quarterback. Josh Allen's
I'm just saying
6'6" and
but we know nothing about
and can run over people.
He has no stats.
So Josh Allen's a better quarterback than both Joe Burrow and J.J. McCarthy because Josh Allen doesn't need an offensive line. He doesn't need wide receivers to make it the playoffs. He doesn't need a thing. He's Superman. He can put his team on his shoulders.
Hey, Robbie, is it fair to say that we could have had Aaron Rodgers this year? Do you believe that?
My friend, I never even pay attention to that narrative.
I'm asking a question. Do you believe that we could have?
Yeah.
I think we could have. I think we could have had Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe.
And there's a reason we didn't. There's a reason we didn't because our coach believes in this in this fucking quarterback.
No, I don't think that's it at all. I think Aaron Rodgers.
Why not?
Aaron Rodgers would have supplanted him in the locker room. Like his personality would have enveloped him. He would have tried to supplant him in the locker room.
That's what I just told you. He was going to be. If Aaron Rodgers came to the Vikings, he's a starter.
Well, I don't think he would have done so with his talent. I think he would have done so in some schwarmy kind of sideway douchebaggery way.
No, he would have been a starter, dude.
I don't think.
He would have done that. They would have signed him as a starter, or he wouldn't come. You think Aaron Rodgers would come to a football team and not be a starter behind JJ McCarthy? You're telling me that's what you think?
I do.
I got a hot take riding on it.
I don't think Rodgers would come to Minnesota as a starter, dude.
Well, he said he was.
Clearly, he didn't.
Because we didn't take him. Because we have a quarterback.
There goes that theory then there, bub.
No, it's not. No, it's exactly what the theory is. KOC picked this guy instead of him. A fucking 3-time MVP.
Hey, Robbie, some more Packer love for us.
Oh, to the Packers? Yes.
And then he says that.
The Bears will be better. They will finish third.
The Bears will have a new OC by freaking what's today? Fucking Saturday.
Yes, JJ will have a better year than Bo Nix.
Yes.
The wide receivers in the offensive line is way better than what Denver put on the field last year.
I gotta give Sean Payton credit.
But for some reason, that's a problem that the Vikings have a good team. Viking fans mad that they built a good team for a quarterback to be a part of.
Vikings fans.
I said Viking fan. No.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna miss.
I know it's been about how many years since we had a solid offensive line? Like, oof. I think that's the problem. I think we just.
It's not fair. The guy that beat us in the national championship now has another really good offense. It's not fair.
Robbie, if they go like 12-5 and win 2 playoff games, how will you feel about it at that point? You still think he sucks?
Who?
The quarterback that brought him there.
And who will that be?
Robbie's getting nervous. He's making noises. He's getting nervous. He's getting rattled.
Dude, I always whenever I do this, I have to organize the drawer. This is a different drawer. This drawer,
you're rattled.
There's some weird shit in this drawer.
Is that like a large utensil?
Are you gonna beat your meat?
Seriously, no. This is the weird like the can opener. Seriously, like
it's the package drawer.
Yeah. It's like it's a fucking can. Well, we all got one of these. Some weird shit.
If this was an ASMR video, this would be legit.
No, there's some it's fucking. No, it's nothing weird in this drawer. But I'm like,
I'm waiting for a rubber chicken to come out.
Nothing weird.
Robbie has more than one rubber chicken in his house. I will bet that.
No, seriously, like just normal shit. It's like this, like wine toppers, like nothing. See that
torture devices.
That looks like I know. Everybody's thinking that's actually for wine. I know everybody's no. It doesn't. It doesn't go that way.
That's not what Dana uses it for.
It goes this way.
Hey, yeah.
These go this way, people, not this way.
Bro, tell me you own a ShamWow without telling me you own a ShamWow.
The hold on. I know what you're talking about. The freaking those things suck, bro. Like you can use them one time and they never work again.
I can see you.
No, I had
the ultra absorbent. You talk about the ultra absorbent little yellow things. I've had one time, never again.
Did you wash it?
No, but hold on.
I bought 70 boxes of storage.
I know, right? They're good for I think Cody, you're kind of right. I found like a pallet of them. They're good for the dogs. Like after I like wash the dogs and then throw them right the fuck out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Or like trick or treaters, like what is this? The parents like no.
What else is good for the dogs is Flex Seal.
Oh, I'm not gonna never again. Like freaking. Oh, what the hell was the goddamn question?
Didn't we see Robbie poison his dog on live TV?
Oh yeah, with the pork,
the bologna or whatever.
Yeah, we never give pork to dogs again. Thank you, Fish, for that sandwich. By the way, that's disgusting. No, it wasn't that.
Were you giving him a bone, right? You were giving him a pork bone?
No, I was giving him bologna. Remember we said we can't give pork. I was like, no, that's not pork bologna. No, I thought it was beef bologna. That was pork.
That was not me.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain. The only thing I know is you don't give a non-beef.
It was during one of the preseason watches.
Oh, okay.
Robbie,
when he ate your sandwich.
What is your
the sandwich wasn't bad. I want to eat it again though.
Robbie, do you have a hot take for the Minnesota Vikings?
I'm worried about that boy's knee, and I'll say this, and this is fact as I use this thing. All right, when you're coming off a knee injury, you have a dominant knee. That's your non-injured knee. And when that happens, the propensity of that new dominant knee getting injured, I have a concern of that other knee getting injured.
Are we talking about ACL, MCL? Or are we talking about meniscus?
I'm going to speak in generalized terms because I'm superstitious. That's why I'm being very non-specific as well. So I really hope this doesn't happen, but I'm going to say player X is out by week 5. I don't want this to happen. Y'all have to understand this.
No, I think you do. I think that you're trying to wish it to happen.
Because I don't.
Yes, you do, because you hope Sam Howell plays.
Jesus Christ, I do not. I do not. And, by the way, I really don't want that motherfucker from Minnesota, that gopher. No, any local.
Bosmer?
Yeah. I know some of y'all are excited about that because he's a local. Kick rocks. Kick rocks. We are not a refugee camp for shitty locals that cannot throw a fucking football.
Hey, there's 3 things to do in Minnesota, my man. There's fishing,
wrestling,
then pack up and leave.
Moving.
So we don't get much here. So when a local comes out of the shadows, you gotta root for the guy. It's like Adam Thielen.
Doesn't he have like 18 picks and like 2 touchdowns or something absurd like that? I mean, I'm embellishing, but not by much. It's absurd.
He's not making this roster. They're keeping Rippon because Rippon is KOC's Mannion.
Rippon, from what I saw from Rippon, isn't that bad. I mean, I'm not really pulling for the guy.
He's never going to play. He's a player who's also a coach.
He's ensuring that when he sees KOC reading his playbook and the clock is rolling down with 2 seconds, he's screaming across the field, telling him to take a goddamn timeout.
That was Mullins.
Yeah.
Who? Wait, who?
He's watched. Ripien is a glorified.
How's the $6 million man?
He's the guy ticking down the time to JJ McCarthy. 5, 4.
Hey, I'll say this. Boyd loves Rippon, and he's been saying this since last year.
Yep.
I mean, if you watch the interviews, the coach has been hyping him up.
Yep.
He was on Hard Knocks on HBO, and the boy looked good for the little bit that I saw. I mean, keep in mind.
But isn't Rippon like already in his 30s? Like, hasn't he like had his chances?
He had a solid.
Yeah, but I mean, Mark looked like he was 55
again, guys.
when he was
I'm
winning
saying he looked
Super Bowl.
okay. I'm not saying he looked great or anything, or I'm not putting him on pedestal. He looked okay, like just okay. Just don't read into that.
Which is more than you said about JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy looks okay.
Without players and coaching staff,
Ripien, Brett would have been
in our system.
Brett would have been a 5th round quarterback drafted this year's draft.
Probably. He still went before
Shador.
He went before Sanders too.
No, let's not push it that much.
How that boy from Louisville went is beyond me. God damn.
Because they're tanking to get Archie next year.
No, that dude's on the spec. He's on the spectrum, bro. Like something's wrong with that kid.
It's not.
I'm saying the Saints are tanking to get Archie next year.
100%.
It's not every day you get a rookie that's a veteran.
Yeah, he played for LSU. You remember that, right, Robbie?
Vaguely. I saw him at the combine. How he? Oh God! Like
you saw that one Facebook highlight.
I did. That was enough. That was enough. But I saw him like. No, I don't know how he got drafted.
Oh,
hey, is Randy Moss's son going to make this team?
No.
If that's not nepotism, I don't know what is.
See, the thing is, like
that's pure nepotism. That is fucking pure nepotism.
If you're an all-time great, right? You're an all-time great. Your kids aren't making the pro level. Your kids aren't making
legacy. That's what it's called, legacy.
Yeah, if you are a legacy, shit, all-time great.
Also, it's like thank you, Randy. We will get your kid's name out there in the news.
Now, if you are a mediocre fucking player in any kind of pro level sport, your kids are making it above you. I mean, Bronny James shouldn't be in the NBA right now. He shouldn't even been on the bench for the Lakers.
He shouldn't even been at USC.
Yeah, like
he sold some tickets, man. That's all.
When your family peaks, it fucking peaks.
There's some exceptions. I can think look
at all Michael Jordan's kids.
No. Griffey, Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Don't do that. Don't look that up.
No. I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. is better than his dad. I don't think his dad.
Ken Griffey Jr. There are exceptions, but normally it's not. But there are some exceptions.
Ken Griffey Jr. was a way better batter than his dad
by a mile.
Okay, Ken Griffey Jr. Yes, Vlad. I'm not going to agree with.
Tatis.
Yeah. Tatis.
But Vlad,
and the dude could be healthy for a season.
Like you can say Barry Bonds. Like Barry Bonds is a way better hitter than his dad. Like
Vlad Guerrero's
that family didn't.
But Vlad Guerrero, you could have an argument.
That's where
there's a good competition of an argument between both father and son.
Yeah.
Whereas
I kind of tuned out.
But
I agree.
You could have an argument there.
I gave you an out like 40 minutes ago, and you didn't want it.
Yeah, I got to take an out right now, guys. I got to go.
All right, let's go. Let's do our final words, and let's all get out of here. I'm gonna let you think about it, Robbie, because normally you have to, and I gave you opportunities to come on here earlier.
Did we give grades for the draft yet?
Yeah, we did. And I gave you opportunity like 2 hours ago to come on and talk about it, but Ronaldo, give us your final words.
Yeah, this team is primed to be really good. I think they do have the opportunity to be a top 3 defense and a top 8 offense. And under those circumstances, I think that they're going to compete for a Super Bowl in the playoffs, and that's all I care about. This is a podcast for Vikings fans, made by Vikings fans. We are real happy to be here, and let your friends know, man, because you know what? We like to Skol, so let's go.
Yeah, let's go together. We got Michael Fish.
I think the Vikings have one more move to do before the season starts that are going to maybe give us a little more enthusiasm and excitement. Draft's over. Whether or not you like it or don't, it's over. Team's pretty much set. We're going to get our 53. Can't wait for the schedule drop in, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's our next milestone is the schedule drop. That'll also get us to start being able to think about Skol Fest. So a lot of exciting stuff, for us coming up. And hey, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Shaq, what do you got?
Thanks for whoever's still tuned in to watching the Let's Go podcast. We appreciate everybody who stops by. I just want to say, JJ McCarthy, you got the hopes of all Vikings fans. The coaches built an awesome offensive line for you. You got 2 weapons. It's up to you to make sure, you get your weapons the ball. And anybody who's still watching, make sure you like and subscribe. If you already liked and subscribed, you could also share the podcast because we are trying to grow. Right now, I think we're currently at 582 subscribers, and we're trying to get to, 1,000 at least before the end of next season. I won't say beginning of the season. I'll say the end
Week
of
3, Jack.
Week by the end of next season.
What do you got, Robbie?
Championships are built in the draft. The Eagles last year, the championship Eagles drafted very, very well. Somebody told me that it does not matter if you draft from national championships. It does not matter. I stopped counting at 15 players. The championship Eagles have 15 players on their starters that have national championships. 15 players. How many do we have?
But who are their offensive linemen?
How many players do we have that have natties? Don't know. 2, 3. Now, after last season, I think we have 5. Draft from places that matter. Championships start at the draft. This last draft was abysmal. Do better. Do better. hopefully this year we do well, and that this little saying is blown out of the water, and that we're the exception to the rule. So go us this year. Skol.
Cody.
Skol.
Yes, championships are won by drafting national champions. Thank God we drafted the most important position in all of football that has a national fucking championship at quarterback. All right. It's going to be a solid year. Everything is depending on J.J. McCarthy, just like it was during the late stages of every single playoff game that we watched when J.J. McCarthy was playing quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines. When they needed to drive the field to get close for a score, they relied on J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be the truth. Here comes the pro level. It's going to be a little fast, right? You had to protect that quarterback. That is your investment. I've been saying it for the past since we drafted him. Protect that investment. Protect that fucking investment. KOC said it after the Rams game, directly after the Rams game. I am going to fix and address this interior offensive line. He didn't say he was going to fix or address 2/3 of this interior offensive line. He went the full way to fix this interior offensive line. I believe the Vikings are going to have a great year. I think they're going to finish either second or first in the division. Lions will finish dead fucking last. TJ Hawkinson will have the most fucking targets on this team. And always, don't beat your dog. Don't beat your kids. Don't beat your wife. Have a plan. It's Thursday. Be good or be good at it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
George, it is what it is. Thank you for being a Let's Go supporter. Appreciate it. See you next season. Talking a little bit of hockey there. Thank you for everybody who joined, who watched the show, who spent some time with us. Thank you for everybody who jumped on, even the Packer fan. Timmy, thank you. Especially thank you to Robbie for jumping on. See you guys next week on Thursday. Let's go.
Let's go. Wolves back.